Yes. Hello, my fellow comic book collectors. It's Alan, the comic collector geek, and Big Me McFly, the comic guy. So,
Hey guys.
yeah, the two of us, we're just sort of hanging out. We're going to be talking about channels that we watch on YouTube that we think are cool. I actually don't watch that many different channels, to tell you the truth. I maybe watch about 10 to 15, I'd say.
Okay.
So, that I kind of watch regularly, but
I think that's probably fair. I try to like dip my toe in a lot of different channels and see if there's something that I like, but it's it's experimentation.
experimentation. Yeah. I mean, sometimes it's always good to check out something new, right? Like where you see these channels. Oh, hey guys. Hey, Black Box, Silver and Bronze, Joe.
Hey,
So that's a great channel to check out right
for
there.
sure.
So for me, like I do like dabbling in other channels that are like not on my radar, or like looking around for them, because sometimes you see some cool stuff or learn something that's a little different than the regular stuff that you see.
Right.
Oh wow, Hudat's here. Hi Hudat. And
And
Hudat's gonna
Epoch.
come.
Hey Epoch.
And Epoch. Hudat, I'm going to be interviewing soon, hopefully. He said he was going to arrange something. Making people feel guilty. I'm always desperate for interviews because I have to do one every week. So it's like, you got to line these things up.
Did you want to talk about the idea of the comic book shout out?
Well, that's what I was actually just about to ask you.
Okay.
Like, you do the spiel. Like, what is the comic book shout out? And because I used it in the title of this video, actually.
So hashtag comic book shout out is a tag you guys can use. It's something I'm trying to start up where people talk about the channels that they like, and you can do a little short, quick video. And I'm actually trying to incentivize it where, I don't know if you guys know, but I do original art. So once a month, I'm going to be doing a drawing for some free original art. If you're a creator, if you've been thinking about starting a YouTube channel, now's a great time to jump in. You can get some free original art, and then you'll be also entered into a drawing. We're going to try to do a drawing in November to give away some comics as well as original art. So, and if you win, you get to pick the character that you want me to draw, and I will draw it for you and send it to you.
Very, very cool. And actually, I've seen your original art. Like, you emailed me some of it. It's actually he's really good. Actually, you tried to get onto DC, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I was a little long in the tooth when I did that. Actually, biggest regrets of my life. I was accepted to go to the Joe Kubert School right out of high school, and I was afraid of debt because of things that I had seen my parents go through. So I wanted to save up all the money, get a job, and then go. And
Okay.
I never went. So
that's a shame, because you're talented. I think
well, thanks.
And
actually,
I'm going to be doing a
too.
comic with you. Hopefully, I'm actually writing the script for it, and I want
That's
to talk
what you
to you
said.
afterwards.
Yes.
I want to talk to you afterwards. I have written the first 4 or 5 pages, so yeah.
And I wanted to, I'm working on some character mock-ups for you too. Some of the stuff we talked about before. So.
Oh yeah, Hudat. By the way, I hope you're feeling better. Last picture I saw of you in Instagram was like you are lying in a hospital bed. So hopefully you're feeling better. So yeah, I just
thanks. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So yeah.
Hey, Aussie comic collector.
And oh wait, I didn't say hi to him. So 1 second here. I gotta go. Okay, so
you gotta say hi to everybody.
Yeah. Hi, Ozzy, the comic book collector. Just so you know, some of these people that are in the chat have great channels. Like they're almost default channels to shout out. So anyone that's in the chat, please subscribe to the other people in
just
the
subscribe
chat.
to each other. Let's just do this whole. And that's kind of the whole idea behind the hashtag comic book shout out, is that trying to get people to
get some
crisscross
and build this community, right?
Yeah, build the infrastructure of interconnectedness of the channels, and maybe you don't watch them 100% of all the time, but you be aware of them and support each other by subbing each other up. And
the goal is to get everyone to 1,000 subs so they get monetized, and then we can make money.
There you go. There you go.
So
I'm
yeah,
like at 830 something. So
so Ozzy the comic book collector is a channel that I would shout out because I actually do watch his channel. He actually films it in a really cool way. He has like his comic books all around him, like in like these like
I've watched his channel for sure. Yeah, he's in
yeah,
his
yeah,
little
yeah.
nook.
It's just a really, it looks really cool. It's like, that kind of like I'm in a closet with all my books. It's kind of cool. And it shows some pretty cool stuff. So definitely subscribe to his channel. And the next one is Bleaker. He's a friend. So, hey, you got to subscribe to my friends. And he does a really cool thing on Sundays where he does he's selling at like a flea market.
Yeah, I've
And
seen he popped in and was showing some amazing books that one time on one of
yeah,
your shows that you were on.
yeah, so he does like this flea market sale on Sundays, and he just does like a live stream, and he invites other YouTubers to kind of join in, and so we'll be all talking, and then all of a sudden a customer will come over and buy a book from him. It's just a really fun kind of
That's
crazy
awesome.
environment. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, so a couple shout outs there. Um, so yeah, but let's like since it's really your idea, this is like I'm taking credit in here. I feel like it's your idea, this whole comic book shout out. So well, what would be your first shout out?
Well, my first one that I did.
No, what would
I,
be your first? No. I not the ones you did, but what
uh,
for this video? For this video, who would you like to shout out?
well, it's going to be one that everybody probably watches, but James
Mm-hmm.
at Mint Hunter Comics was probably a big inspiration for me to come back
Yeah,
into
it's good.
collecting. Just watching him going out and going crazy at garage sales and flea markets and whatnot, and it really inspired me to get back into out hunting and whatnot. And so, I mean, he's got a bazillion subscribers. He doesn't need us to shout him out, but
Yeah, I think he's up to like, is it 40, 50,000 or something crazy like that?
some crazy number, but
Yeah, which
he
in
was a big
comics means
inspiration.
like a million. That's like equivalent to a million like subscriber
Yeah,
thing because it's so
but
hard.
comics is kind of a niche thing,
Yeah,
and so I mean, credit where credit is due. He's had some amazing success.
yeah.
Um,
I think it was him that did the video recently that I watched where he was showing things. Don't do these things with your comics, like
oh
like.
yeah, yeah.
And so he's showing, proper bag, have them face to face, so he was saying all normal things. But then, like, I think just to test the audience to see if they were still paying attention by the end, he had things like, don't make your comics into paper airplanes. Don't use your comics for mulch.
I
Don't.
think he
It was
he
funny.
he
It's
had
like,
a collection he went to look at one time, and somebody had stored them in a freezer,
oh,
like a
wow.
literal, like a plugged in freezer.
So they
So
were all like frozen together.
don't do that.
No, don't do that. Yeah, I've seen some pretty weird things. Like the weirdest one was not just the way people store comics, but the way people send comics can be really crazy. I had somebody
Oh
send
yeah,
comics to me in a diaper,
in a diaper.
in a literal diaper. I was like, "What is this? Why am I
Is it
getting a
supposed to
diaper?"
be like a padded
Yeah, so
something
it's a
around it to
it's
protect it?
padded. Yeah, that was the theory behind it. It was actually two diapers. It's like
Well, I guess that would
it's really
protect, right? I mean, better than
yeah, it's like
nothing.
yeah, it was pretty messed up, and it was like a raw comic in between. It's like
Oh
no
my
bag,
gosh.
no board, just diapers.
These were
Uh,
these were fresh diapers, right? Not
yeah,
used.
I was like, oh man, if they're used, I'm done. This is not. I'm out of comics. I'm gonna quit. But it was pretty weird. I was like, wow. It was weird because it was I don't know. Whenever I buy stuff from France, I'm complaining about France as a country. Everybody in France, I'm blaming you, because every time I order something from France, I get it in the weirdest packaging, and that was the diaper one. So, but I've had others from France that were just these weird packaging. I don't know. I have no idea why. Something about French. I don't know. They're
Those
weird.
crazy French people.
Those crazy
Uh-huh.
French. Yeah. Now I'm like living in the French area, so it's kind of funny.
I was gonna say, yeah, French Canadian, right? I mean,
Yeah. Everyone's French around here. It's like I have to practice my French. My French is horrible. Um, so yeah. So oh, see, everyone's subbing to each other. Look at this. So Ozzy, you got to
Awesome.
subscribe to
That's kind of the
Bleaker.
whole point. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Like, that's the whole point here. Oh, and Graphic Man. Yes, you need to stop making those paper airplanes. Yeah. So so just so you know, Graphic Man, I want you on my channel. I was talking to BigBy about this before. That actually, you're another guy I'd like to interview because you do some pretty cool art. So another channel that we should shout out, that I'm just going to shout out now, is Graphic Man. He does some pretty cool stuff. So I'm not sure if you've have you seen his artwork that he does.
No, I haven't.
It's sort of like, I want to say homages, but not really homages. He'll take like a cover and kind of like put a funny spin on it.
Oh, okay. So it's
Yeah,
kind of an homage,
yeah. So
parody.
I'm probably Graphic Man's going like, no, that's not what I do. but my description is not the best. But I hope, Graphic Man, you can correct me in the chat if I'm totally like not saying it in the best way. But he does cool stuff. Like if you check out his Instagram, actually, you can see all these kind of cool covers that he created. They're really fun.
For sure.
Oh, another person, K-pop, another person I'm trying to get to come on. She keeps on delaying about interviewing me with me, but another channel that people can check out. So everybody in this, like what I suspect, okay, there's 12 people watching right now. Okay.
Okay.
That means that every channel here should get 12 new subscribers.
Right.
You know, and obviously you should subscribe to BigBy and myself. That's by default.
Well, yeah. I mean,
So yeah, so the goal is to get everyone to 1,000 subscribers minimum, and then from there,
and we're all making money, and we can all buy cool comics.
Yeah, exactly. And we can use that YouTube money to retire.
That's right. You've told me about that big
Oh,
YouTube
that big
money.
one. You're almost there, by the way, right? You're like 800 and something now.
Yeah, I'm getting there, 800 and something.
Yeah.
I don't think I have the watch hours though either. I've got to do more long form content. So
yeah, that's what really helps. That's how I got the watch time way before I got the subscribers.
Right.
So yeah, I found people would watch my videos but never subscribe. I don't know why. It's really annoying. But
Comic Mike says he doesn't have a channel yet. Now's the time, Comic Mike. I'm incentivizing it for you.
Like, start putting out those videos, man.
just do a comic book shout or a hashtag comic book shout out, and then you'll be entered in to win some free stuff.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be anything fancy.
Yeah, just say a channel you like, and that's it. Like, I actually recommend that people go over and watch BigBy's channel on how he does his shout outs. I actually like the format. It's very quick.
Oh, yeah, it's like 3 minutes total. It's just like 2.5 minutes. Then I have a little 1 or 45-second thing at the end talking about if you want to make videos for this, you can win cool stuff, So
yeah, and but you also like. I find that with your shout outs, it's very it's not point form, but it's very precise. Like you get like a real sense of what that channel is all about very quickly.
Yeah.
Like, you get right in there. I really enjoy them actually.
Yeah, I'm trying to just like knock out like what are they about? What are their favorite books that they like to talk about? Just get in there and talk about the things that make me interested in watching the channel.
Yeah. Actually, I think I subscribed to 2 or 3 from just watching your videos. So
that's awesome. That's awesome.
So yeah,
I know I did Mon Comics, and then he has been ever since I did him. He's like, how did I not know about West Coast Avengers? How did I not know about?
Yeah.
So he's been stepping up all these guys that I've been shouting out too. So
yeah. No, it's fun. It's it's always cool. Like I think for me, the way I see other channels is I see them as like ways to find more comics. So I'm a collector. I'm like, my whole thing is I want to build a community to help me find comics.
Right.
So the more channels, the more people that are showing cool books. Hey, I'm all for it. So
I know Dave is looking out for that Zombie Tramp for you. So
Yeah, if anyone can find Zombie Tramp #1, or not #1, #3,
Yeah,
then I'd be really
of
impressed.
the first mini series.
The first miniseries, yeah,
Right.
it's really impossible to find. It's such a hard book. I've seen it only once, and I missed out on it. Went for $1,500. It was crazy.
Oh
Um,
my goodness. Dave
yeah.
just got a huge collection of Zombie Tramp, and I asked him right off the bat. I was like, "Is there a Zombie Tramp miniseries in there?" And he's like, "No, I don't think so." But he's got a bunch of the early stuff, both
Yeah.
the tame and the extreme covers.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah, yeah. So when they started doing those tame and extreme, that's later on.
yeah, yeah,
So that's like the third series.
yeah.
So yeah, but there's I don't know. It's hard. It's like nobody collects Zombie Tramp but me, basically. Um, yeah. So my Zombie Tramp guy is on vacation, but buds with Dan. I can ask him for you. Okay. Well, thank you. That'd be great.
That's awesome.
Yeah. See,
There you go.
that's the point
Get,
of the community. Like we got all these connections.
getting you hooked up, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. So yeah. So what was I gonna say? Yeah, so we shouted out a couple channels. What other channels do you want to shout out? Because you made a
Automatic
list. I'm
Comics,
not
Ryan.
prepared.
I already did a shout out for you, buddy, on the channel. You
Oh,
know.
who? For me?
Yes, I did one for
Oh
you,
yeah,
but
yeah. I'm saying you have like a list. You prepared a list for this video of people
oh,
to
I just
shout out.
started scribbling down a couple. Like I was say Ryan over at Automatic Comics.
Yeah,
I've really,
Ryan, definitely. Yeah,
really been enjoying his stuff.
he's one of the few channels that I watch whenever he releases a video.
Religiously.
Yeah, religiously, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's amazing. Both him and you, I learned so much about the Golden Age from both of you guys. So
Yeah, I'm actually planning to do more with Ryan. Hopefully, he'll randomly send me a message on Instagram, so it's pretty good. It's cool to. He's like a much bigger channel. He's like, I think he has like 6,000-7,000 subs now.
yeah, I mean, and we're talking about bigger channels like Alex the Comic Reporter.
Yeah, that'd be another
Another.
one. So Alex, I actually have to give a big thank you to. He was one of my first subscribers.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and he was like, "Oh, you're going to be the next big thing." Like he wrote that to me when I had like maybe 30 subs or something like that. It's like
Yeah.
I was like a nothing channel, and I was like, "Oh wow," because I was talking. I think he liked my channel because I was talking about restored comics and not in a bad way. I was talking about them in a positive way, and he just said that nobody's doing that. Nobody's talking about them in that way. But his channel is amazing. He finds some pretty amazing things. Like
He does. He
he's a
does.
hunter, and he'll go out and he like finds cool things in unusual places.
I'm planning on going out to my Golden Age honey hole and
Mm-hmm.
doing a video where I just go through all of his stuff, and you're gonna be my point man telling me like you need to get
Sure,
that
sure.
needs to get picked up.
But can I get dibs on things like?
Sure, sure, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'd love to see that. I actually, you mentioned we talked, just so people know, we talked other times, and you talked about this honey hole that you have, and it just sounds like sort of like heaven. Like, I don't know.
I don't
Like,
know. Yeah. So Alan had the interview with me, but I talked about this guy got referred to me, and he only allows people up by referral. And at his house, when I got accepted to come in and see. He used to own an antique shop, and he has an antique store in his house. And on the phone, he said, "I don't have any of that new stuff." And I was thinking, okay, he doesn't have any modern comics
yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever. And when I came there, he said, when Marvel Comics came out in 1960, whatever was it,
Three
early
or two,
60s?
yeah,
Yeah,
62.
60.
Yeah.
Yeah, when the Marvel stuff started hitting, that was just too weird. So I just shut it down. So everything I have is pre Marvel. It's
Primo.
all golden age and platinum age stuff. It's just
Yeah, yeah,
nuts.
yeah, yeah.
And I was telling Dave, West Coast Dave, that the guy has a spinner rack in his house, and he
Oh
puts
wow.
golden age comics on it. And people do what they do with spinner racks, where they pull the. I'm
Pull
like,
them
no,
down.
no. So every time I go there, I'm like, what did you put new on the spinner rack? And I got to rescue it.
Yeah, I'd be paranoid to see that. But does he bag and board them at least? Like,
Yeah, they're bagged and boarded, but he crams too many books on that spinner rack, and it just makes me cringe because it's like seeing Silver
Uh,
Age and Golden Age books just getting destroyed. I bought a couple Doom Patrols that would have been like, like 7.5, 8.0 at least, but
but
they
they're
had a
bent.
big bend from that bar. That was it. That was the only thing wrong with them.
Yeah, yeah. That's why, like, how newsstands usually go for more. That's why.
Yeah,
That's why,
yeah.
because like they always have that like bend and like that line across the middle of them. It's like, oh
Yeah.
man, wow, that'd be really sad. I mean, it looks cool to have the spinner rack. Like there's sort of that nostalgic thing there, but
Yeah, but put your really low grade books on there, I guess. Hey, Collecto 6.
collect. Hey, so this is Collecto6 doesn't have a YouTube channel, but he does have an Instagram channel. I definitely recommend people, we don't all have to subscribe to people's YouTube channels. We can also subscribe to their Instagram channels. So check his channel out. Really great.
He's from my old stomping grounds. Like I used to live, and that's where my shop was. I'm
Oh,
interested to know
really?
if he actually went to my shop back in the day.
So
I
in Portland?
in Vancouver, Washington.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
Amazing
that's,
Stories was my store in Vancouver, Washington. I was there for over 20 years, so
oh, wow.
I'm sure we ran into each other at least once or twice.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, yeah. It feels like such a small world when people, when you start talking to people about that, like, oh, do you know this guy? And it's like, yeah, it just seems a little crazy.
He
Um,
says he was there. There you go. Yeah,
oh, did you say that? I didn't get any message that said that.
yeah. He
Oh,
says
yeah.
I was there.
Oh, okay. It was slow for me. It didn't come up.
Yeah.
Um,
So yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. So he was talking about I Like Comics, and I Like Comics is actually the remains of my two stores amalgamated into one store.
mhm.
So
So I Like
pretty
Comics was
interesting.
really you're the one that created I Love Comics. Like, I mean, like he's the guy that bought you out, or
No, another fella bought me out, and I kind of got hosed on the deal. And then
yeah,
I Like Comics ended up with the all the residual inventory and fixtures, and so I didn't actually. We never exchanged any cash or anything, but he ended up with the yeah. It's a sad story, but he ended
yeah,
up with all the stuff, and we're friends. Everything is good.
yeah. I bought a bunch of stuff from I Like. I Is it I Love or I Like
I
Comics?
like I
Yeah,
like
I like.
comics.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Chris is
Um.
cool. I like him a lot.
Yeah, yeah. His pricing was pretty good. I got like a whole run of Wonder Woman. Like when I was trying to get my Wonder Woman run, like he had a lot of the Bronze Age ones, and I was he had such a great price. I just bought a whole bunch of them. He's like,
Yeah, he's his pricing is pretty crazy.
yeah.
He does like if anything's not over a certain price point, he puts it all at half price. So
Well, what he was doing, he was selling it in lots. Where it was
yeah,
like, So I was like, okay, $20 and get 5 books or whatever it was. It's something like that where it was just like
yeah,
pretty good pricing. So
yeah,
yeah,
runs, right?
yeah, little runs.
He says he loved my store. Thank you, Collective.
Yeah. Did you ever want to go back to it?
The thing I miss the most is all of the relationships I had with the customers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't miss a lot of the running of the store, the day to day, and the stresses of that,
Yeah, I
and
can imagine.
everything. But I just miss seeing. It's kind of like Cheers, where everybody would come in and
Yeah, yeah. You have
you'd
sort of this
you'd, you'd have conversations with everybody every week, and
yeah, yeah,
I've actually run into a lot of people who are now full grown adults who came into my store when they were 6 or 7 years old buying Pokemon cards and stuff from me, and a couple of them own shops themselves now, and
Oh,
I
wow.
shop at their stores. So
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. So yeah, yeah. I think that's one thing that we need in this world is comic shops themselves. Like I especially during the 90s, I really loved that feeling of going into the comic shop. Everybody's talking comics. Everybody's like, oh, like, oh, they're checking out the new Wizard guy that just came out, and
right,
like, this is the hot comic, and there's the wall books, and that whole experience is really great. Like,
right, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
So that's what I miss about having a shop. Would I do it again? If the circumstances were right, but it would, the game has completely changed. It's so much more about online sales, and I'm sure Bleecker can talk about, a lot of the way
Mhm.
things are, moving books
Yeah.
is it's so much different now.
Well, I
So
think it would be harder because you're always you're up against a million other competitors.
right.
Like people are always like, okay, I'll check eBay to see if that's a good price or not. It's like,
Yeah, I
you're
used to
always
have
up
that.
against that.
People would walk into my store in Astoria and they'd be like, well, I can get this graphic novel on Amazon for blah blah blah. And I was like, then get it on Amazon. I'm not going to match that price. I mean, I
Yeah,
understand
yeah,
you're here in my store and I'm teaching you about these things and you're enjoying the ambiance, but go ahead, buy your graphic novel on Amazon. That's great.
yeah. It's hard to compete with that, right? So,
Yeah, yeah.
but yeah, I think that was a dream of mine too, to have a comic book store. Like I thought it would be fun, but it's almost like it's not always good to mix business with pleasure. You know what I mean?
No, when you do, well, they say that if you do something that you love for a living, then, you'll always be happy. But a lot of times it drains the joy out of the thing that you love. It's
Yeah,
like,
that's what I'd be worried about. Yeah, and I also don't want to see my books like, because I like right now I love my books. I kind of like they're my children kind of thing. I don't want to see them as commodities where like oh that where you want to sell it all the time, and like it kind of takes
right.
the joy out of those comics.
That was the cool thing about having the store too. I just looked around. Everybody were like, well, I had a personal collection, but people would be like, well, what's your collection like? I go, this is my collection. Everything here
Exactly.
is mine. It's,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
yeah, so it changes all the time, but
yeah. Hmm.
Collecto says he has a son living in Astoria. That's awesome. He ran Metalhead Records, he says.
Oh yeah, yeah. So yeah, that's very cool. So it's cool that you have the thing running so you can see the chat too. I'm terrible about keeping
I'm just
tabs
trying
on
to.
the chat.
I'm sure people are like he keeps looking that way. That's my computer screen is over here, guys.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So how we shout out another channel? Like how we okay, I'm gonna mention 3 channels that I watch like like pretty consistently. Okay?
Okay.
And you may like I'll say my 3, then you say your 3, okay?
Okay.
Good deal?
Deal.
Okay, so Comic Tom. I know that's probably everyone's like cringing when they hear that, but I
You
actually love
know,
Comic Tom.
am
And
I
I
supposed to comment as you're
no,
saying
no,
these or
no, we'll save the
old
comments for that.
comments?
I'll give a quick reason. So Comic Tom, I actually think he has listened to people's criticism about like overhyping the comics, because I've seen him kind of giving a lot more nuance to comics lately. So Comic Tom would be my first choice, because I watch like if he puts out a video like his top hot lists, I'll watch it. The other one that I watch is Automatic Comics. Like
Mhm.
we've mentioned that before. And another one that I watch is Swaggerhouse. Those would be the 3 big ones that I watch pretty consistently.
Gotcha.
Okay, so what? Okay, so and Swaggerhouse. The thing that I like about Swaggerhouse's videos is he does a lot of like the analytics, right? Where he looks at how like he has like his like bronze age index and silver age index, and he'll look at it where it's almost like how is it market, like how is it like almost like the S&P futures, or you know what I mean, where he kind
Yeah,
of looks at
Swaggle
it.
is very analytical. Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoy that. I like those geekier, like sort of statistician elements to the hobby. So yeah, I kind of enjoy that. So yeah, so what were your 3 be?
Well, you got to pick out a bunch of them before. That was kind of cheating. You got to pick 3,
See,
and then I'm like,
that's why I went
oh,
first. That's why I went first.
you're the host. That's right. You get to.
No,
Okay,
but
so
you can
one that
say
I
the same
watched like
ones. You
every
can say
single time. What's that?
you can say the same ones. I don't
Well,
care.
Automatic Comics, I watch every single video he comes out with.
Yeah, me too. Yeah,
Um, Lunch Money Comics. I love that guy.
I watch him, but not as like consistently.
He usually only does like one video a week, but
Yeah,
I'm just like all over everything he puts out. It's just great.
yeah.
So
He's really grown. He was like a
yeah, he's
nothing
like
channel like a little while ago.
he's doing a 5,000 subscriber giveaway right now, and he
Oh
just hit
man,
6. He announced the 5,000 and he hit 6,000 while he was announcing 5,000.
wow. like I wish I could get that kind of growth. I can't, I don't know why I can never build my channel like his stuff is, but I guess his content is just better than mine. So that's the thing.
It's the he does the hunting in the field
People love
stuff, and
seeing that
people
hunting in the
really,
field
really
stuff.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't do that. There is no field to hunt in here. So
You just
you can watch
go.
me eBay.
There you go. You should put a camera over yourself as you're typing.
Yeah, like last second excitement.
You do it all like super, super suspenseful as you're putting in the bid. Put some
Yeah.
music in there.
Yeah. So
Mission Impossible music.
I was actually afraid to do that because I was worried that if I show which books I'm bidding on, I'd get like my own competition. You know, I'd generate my own competition for the stuff I'm bidding on. But
You got more people popping in the chat.
oh yeah. Hi TJ and hi Joe.
And yes, Alan, as he said, you're one of the ones like I'm always watching your content. So
Okay. Well, that's good.
I may not always comment. I try to comment on almost every one of your videos, but
yeah, it's always good. So automatic comics would be your number one. Who's number two?
Lunch Money Comics
Lunch
is up
Money.
there.
Oh yeah, it's Lunch Money. Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and Automatic and you, Lunch Money, Automatic, and you are probably the top three.
Oh really?
Okay. That I follow.
At least I'm in the top three. I get a bronze.
Yeah. You know what? Here's my list for the original idea for the comic book shout out. The first person on the list is Alan.
Oh wow. Okay. But you did Lunch Money first. I was a little bit sad about that, but
I was like, well,
it's okay. I'm just joking. Oh, actually, yeah. This is another good channel. Casually Comics. Have you ever watched her?
No, I'll have to check Casually Comics out.
She's Canadian too, so that's always cool. She always has like different wigs.
You got to do like you do some hashtag comic book shout out videos, and that'll get me.
Yeah.
You know,
So
I've had
Cheesy one. Do a shout out for Casually Comics.
Yeah, I've had two people do hashtag comic book shout out videos so far. One from Mon Comics. He was shouting out Romuel Comics and Food.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I've interviewed him.
He was on my channel. Then Romuel did one as almost like a tag video for so this isn't a tag video, guys. You guys don't have to be tagged. You don't have to be invited. Just make a video and post.
This is a really good one. Dragon Inc. is a good friend of the channel, and I love his videos. He's a very eccentric guy.
Future Past, I like Future Past too, and they're down in Portland, Oregon.
Future Past is really interesting. It's the father and daughter, right?
Yeah, they're just like 45 minutes away from me. I told them, I'm like, hey, I'm in the area. If you guys ever want to get together and talk and trade some comics or whatever, that would be cool. So.
Yeah. So I like this. I like this comment. I approve.
Which one's that?
CCG is like my pipe dream channel.
Pipe dream channel. Okay.
So yeah. I'm CCG.
You're CCG. That's right. That's because we did. Remember I remember when we were doing your logo up. You were like, "Can you put a C and a C?
Yeah,
to go with the big G on his chest."
Well, the one that started calling me CCG was Keston from Old School Comics. Another great channel.
There you go. Keston, guys, sub them up.
Yeah, sub these guys up. Black Box, Silver, and Bronze, sub him. But also he mentions Night Tiger and Jerry the Jitterbug. So
I love Jerry's stuff.
Those are two other channels that I do watch. So if I was going to make a 10 list, like I told you, I watch maybe 10 to 15 channels, like fairly regularly. Right. Night Tiger would be another one, and Jerry the Jitterbug. I enjoy Jerry's. It's more like I find Jerry's is kind of in a weird way relaxing. It's almost like watching paint dry. I know it sounds weird to say it that way, but he, because he's doing like these kind of very interesting activities to restore books.
Yeah, and it's stuff you would never think of how he's doing it, right?
Yeah, it's just sort of hypnotic to watch somebody kind of do these like cool restoration techniques.
I'm watching him when he's wetting that stuff up and everything, and I'm just like, oh my gosh! I mean, I don't know if I could ever get to be that comfortable with doing that kind of stuff to comics.
I know. So the whole time in like I have this sort of internal battle going on, like watching his stuff, where I'm thinking, okay, can I try it? And if I try it, am I going to destroy my book? Like, so I'm sort of thinking that as I'm watching his video. So
Yeah, you guys that are watching, go ahead, throw in the comments like your favorite channels. We'd
yeah,
love to see that.
so here's some of the ones that Collecto6 have, like Comic Collector Geek, which is the best channel I can think of. But um, Black Rock, Silver, and Bronze, definitely a great channel, Joe. Night Tiger and Alex the Comic Quarter. Yeah, those are awesome channels. And also check out BigBy McFly, Steven. You'll like his channel.
Well, hopefully.
Yeah, no, I enjoy your content actually.
That's good to hear that you actually like my content.
yeah. Well, I have a tendency, like, this is I don't know, it's some weird humor thing that I developed as a kid, where I have sort of like this backhanded compliment style. I don't know why. I don't intend it, and everyone's like always offended when I compliment them, but I don't mean it that way. But it comes out that way.
It's all right.
But I actually,
another channel.
I enjoy your content. How about that?
That's great. Another channel that I really like is Bronzeville Comics.
Bronzeville, yeah, that's another one I do watch.
I watch him pretty regularly as well.
Yeah, me too. He'll show some stuff that's really cool. What's another one that I really enjoy? It's always hard to remember. Oh, actually, this is another one I really wanted to mention. So this is one I really like. This guy I watch whenever he puts out a video. I watch his stuff. JP Collects. I've interviewed him once. The reason I like his is it's almost like the antidote for Comic Tom, where he would sort of look at the comics 6 months later.
Yeah.
And then you would say, okay, well, was it a hit or miss kind of thing? And you would like do the dumpster fire and the,
right.
It's a trap, but yeah, I really do enjoy his insights.
Somebody said silver hair, Bronze Age babe. I just actually, she subbed to me. And so I looked at her channel and I started watching her stuff. It's actually pretty cool.
I don't know her channel. I've never heard of it. Silver.
Yeah, she's an older lady, and she talks about getting into collecting when she was much younger, and how she was really kind of shunned by the male-dominated. She'd go to the shows and they would give her kind of sideways glances. And she's like, now I'm older and I have way more money, and they respect me now.
I will definitely check out her channel because that's cool.
Yeah,
it is a very male-dominated hobby. There's.
Well, I think we're starting to see a lot more though, women getting into it, and it's become a cool thing for any gender to get into.
Well, the funny thing is, like, as I collect like mainly Golden Age nowadays, but if you look at the Golden Age, everybody read comics back then. You know what I mean? So it was like, it's only after like the Comic Code Authority came into play that it sort of shifted to mostly men. But
Reggie Collects and Very Gary. Collects,
I do. I just actually binge watched a bunch of Reggie Collects today. I was watching. He was complaining about don't buy these comics. He was talking about Spider-Man, that new one that came out #7, where it's like the
Spider-Boy stuff.
Yeah, he's like, don't buy it. It's like it's a scam. It's not a scam, but it's a trap.
My buddy Travis has been reading that storyline since before the Spider-Boy intro, and he said the storyline is amazing. He's like, it's really good.
The storyline's bad, but already that is the most graded book like in the last week.
I'm not saying to go out and spend a ton of money on it. He's just saying that actually a lot of people like, there's another channel, Bronze and Modern Gods. I love those guys. Yeah.
I've heard of them. I never actually watched any of their videos.
Oh yeah, they do a weekly podcast. Then they do it's also live on, or so it's a YouTube thing, and then they also do it as a podcast. And it's really, really good. They have a hot book of the week that they talk about, and they also have like it used to be now it's called the old fart rule.
Okay, yeah,
it used to be
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but they look back at books that were coming out. I think it's 25 years ago.
Very cool.
20 years ago. The 25-year rule. Yeah, I think it's 25-year rule. So they
Okay.
go back and look at, because people, when they have become adults and they want to
Then
get the things that
they will
were,
reflect on what was cool back
yeah.
25
So
years
they
ago
show
when they were
like,
kids.
okay,
Yeah.
this week at this time period, this was a cool book that just came out. So.
And somebody else, just quickly to finish his comment, Very Gary is another great channel. He also does sometimes like a year or 2 year reflection on comics as well. Very Gary, and he also does like these hunt videos where he buys collections, which is interesting. And one sec here, wait. Dope. I just interviewed Dope Comics. And I was just on his channel recently. He's got a really great horror collection, also early DC collection.
I collect those comment. Reggie is very Reggie and Tom is very Tom.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
See, I like Comic Tom a lot more in the early days when he was much more down to earth, and now he just seems so over the top and kind of almost like a caricature of himself.
Well, I found that he was like that maybe 6 months ago. I think he's sort of realized that he was kind of going a bit too much, too overboard. I found that in the last few videos that I've watched from him, he's toned it down a bit. I can tell he's taken the criticism.
Okay.
So I find his stuff a lot better. And I think part of the reason that he's kind of toned back a bit is that when the market died, I think he kind of realized that he was overly hyping these books, and he kind of played a role in that.
Gotcha.
So yeah.
Legion of Comics. I'll have to check that one out.
Oh, and I started watching Whatnot Comics. Yeah. Actually, somebody.
Why not comics? Why not comics is actually interesting.
Why not?
He's the guy from down south. He's got some cool videos.
Yeah. I was thinking Whatnot. I read that incorrectly.
He does some hunting. The last video I watched is he went into a giant antique store and he's looking for comics, and as he's panning around, there was some like 1930s photo of like an old serial movie, Captain America, and he just kind of glosses by it. And I'm like, that's probably worth some money, right?
Exactly. Yeah, that's what's really cool about watching people do the hunt videos. They'll be like totally focused on the wrong book in a way. You see all these books and you're like, oh my god, it's like grab that, get that, and
you see people flip through and I go, oh that was what? Oh, never mind.
It's sort of. Did you ever, the Simpsons episode where they go to like a flea market, and he's like a painting. She's not even smiling. It's like a Mona Lisa, and and on the stamp, it's upside down. It's like he's like, it's all like in the dollar bin. He's like,
that's hilarious.
Yeah.
TJ said John's Comics with Kids.
I was actually going to get to that one. Legion of Comics, and then John's Comics with Kids. Yeah, that's a good channel.
Yeah, and I really like that one because he's kind of like it. If you go way back in the channel, his daughters were super young, and it's just him kind of introducing comics to his kids, and now they're older and they're part of his skits and everything, and they're in the whole thing.
I like that. I wish I was trying to get my kids into it, right? They have no interest. They're like totally rebellious against it, right? They just don't want to be on. They don't want to be on YouTube. They're like, privacy kind of thing. But so yeah. But I think that's cool when you see the kids kind of growing up in the film. Like So yeah, John's Comics with Kids. He's a good guy. Who else was I? There was another one that's similar. He somebody that I actually used to do videos with. I'm trying to remember his name.
That's an Aussie just said another good one. Pop Comics.
Oh yeah, Pop Comics. He's a good friend.
He's amazing. Yeah.
He's a good friend of mine. He actually sent me. He was one of the few people that remembered my birthday, so I was quite happy. He sent me a gift. Actually, I have to thank him.
We were just talking about that.
Yeah,
off camera beforehand.
Nobody sent me.
It was my birthday last week, and I got some gifts from people.
And you're making me sad because nobody.
I was like, no one loves me.
Nobody loves me except for Pop. He sent me a gift, so I'm super happy. So, so Pop Comics. he's been doing really funny videos lately. I'm not sure if you've been watching his channel, but what he wants to get into shape, right? He's like a little bit worried about getting a little bit out of shape. So what he's
Okay.
doing is like he's like deliberately going out and walking, and he's walking to all these comic shops because it's New York. You know, you can kind of do that where you can
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
walk around. So he's just showing that, like, kind of him walking around going into these comic shops. It's kind of fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, he started a whole nother channel, Pop Walks, because he
Oh.
said he was tired of when he would go on the walk videos,
Mm-hmm.
he would lose 10 subscribers because people
They didn't.
didn't enjoy
Okay,
the
that's
walk
something
videos.
I don't get. Okay, I'm not. You've probably experienced this too. You put out a video, and it might not, like, I do, like, like video every day, right? And I never understand why, like, people love a certain video, like maybe my hot list, I'll do a hot list, but they might not like my commentary video or my unboxing video, right?
Right.
And so I'll lose a subscriber for that. But then, you know, just don't watch that video if you don't like that kind of stuff. Just watch the one style you like. I never understand why people unsubscribe. It always bothered
I,
me.
I Last week I had a video drop and it was like I gained like 7 subscribers in the first like 2 hours. I was like, sweet. And then like it must have been like 4 hours later, I looked and it was like, I lost 12 subscribers. Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I interviewed, like, Automatic Comics. Okay, so I think I got a lot of his subscribers coming over to my channel. Okay, so
uh-huh.
they all like, I got like 20 subs. It was insane. I was like, wow, 20 subs in one day. That's pretty awesome.
That's
And then
awesome.
the next day, they unsubscribed. I was like, why? Why did you bother? I was like, it's really weird. I don't get why people do that.
Yeah, I don't. I do. They get tired of seeing your stuff popping up on the. I don't know. I have it with the shorts stuff too. I get people jumping in and
Oh,
they'll
actually, Collector
subscribe.
Six sent me a gift. Actually, I have to correct the record.
That's
He sent me a
right.
birthday
You
gift
got a
too.
really cool gift from Collecto. You
Yes,
actually
I
did a whole
did.
video on that.
I'm the worst. I'm the worst. I'm like the least thankful person. Okay, I'm sorry.
Next year
Collector
you get
Six.
nothing.
Yeah, like, I'm gonna get like a lump of coal for Christmas. So yeah, no, Collector Six sent me a pretty cool gift. He's a pretty awesome guy though. So yeah, but actually, I'm preparing a gift for him, believe it or not. So yeah, what? Okay, let's look at some more things. Ken's Books comic book channel. Actually, I've watched that once or twice. Ken comic book channel.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch this video over again and sub all these people out that people are
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
mentioning because
So Ken, he will talk about Alan Class. Okay, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Alan Class, but what Alan Class would do is he had sort of the rights to republish Marvel books in the UK. And so he would republish. He'd basically.
oh yeah,
They're kind
I've
of like
seen some
these.
of those with the crazy
They're always
colors and
like
stuff.
yeah, they were a little bit weird looking. Like, they were the same books, but they would just be reprinted in smaller size. But very interesting. Very rare. Some of them.
I've seen Ozzy could probably comment too. I've seen
The
some of
Australian versions.
the Australian ones where they're just crazy colors, where they've changed the color
Yeah,
schemes on them.
yeah.
But
And sometimes they do different covers as well. But usually it's like just they change the colors. I'm not sure why they change the colors, but
yeah,
they do. I don't know. Oh, the YouTube algorithm gives and takes away. Yeah, I've seen that too, where I think the YouTube algorithm will unsubscribe people. Have you noticed that
really.
too? Yeah,
If
where
you haven't watched a video from somebody for a while, they'll just
I don't know. I'm
unsubscribe you.
not sure why they unsubscribe them, but I've seen people and people have commented to me that they got unsubscribed from my channel, and they don't know why. Like, they didn't do it, but they,
You did it. Come on now.
yeah, I kicked them off. You're not allowed to watch. No, no soup for you. The soup Nazi, from Seinfeld.
Oh, Ozzy says they're called Newton comics, the crazy color schemed ones from Australia.
Oh, okay. I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I've seen some like somebody was highlighting like Avengers #1 and some other stuff from that style, and I was like, wow, those are just like crazy colors on them. But and they correct me on this, Ozzy. They were like they came out in the 70s and
Yeah.
80s, I think, is when they first started showing up over there, I think. So
Hmm.
they're not like same time period, but they're
Yeah,
the first
usually it was like maybe
Australian
5 to
version.
10 years later. Like, you know
Yeah,
what I mean, where they were kind of reprinting the earlier Marvel stuff a lot of the time.
yeah.
Yeah, but
The Comic
yeah,
Beast used to have a comic fitness channel. Okay.
the Comic Beast. I never heard of the Comic Beast.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out.
With his dad focusing on comics on his new channel. Yeah, so yeah, there used to be like a bunch of channels I used to watch that were kind of like that. They were like these guys that were really into exercising and comics. It was really weird.
So I got one I want you guys to check out. His name is Obito Comics. It's like
Mhm.
Obito. He's a young kid and he just started his channel out. He's got some really good content. I think he's got like 100 subscribers. His
Mhm.
first couple of videos, he's talking about like I'm looking forward to filling up my first short box,
Mhm.
and some people sent him some care packages, and he was just so appreciative. And it's just
Yeah.
amazing to see a new collector and see things through his eyes, like how
Yeah.
excited he is just
It's
to
sort
get
of
some
like
books that
it's almost
most of us would be
nostalgic.
like meh, but he's just like so appreciative and excited. So guys, check him
Mhm.
out. Obito Comics is pretty cool.
Okay. I'll definitely check him out after this as well. TJ mentioned I used to have a YouTube channel, but I found I I enjoy just being a guest on other channels. I'm in the process of posting my entire collection on Instagram, only 860 out of 2,400 slabs. What? That's crazy. If TJ, if you ever want to come on this channel, I'm always looking for people to interview. Sounds like you have a lot of books, so that's all that matters. You know, I always like getting people to come on the channel to talk about their collections. BigBy Allen goes
I was
for.
just reading that.
I always thought they were foreign books and lesser versions. What do you think? Oh man.
So my thought process from everything that I've learned from watching
Mm-hmm.
Alan as well as other people is that the print run is much lower on those,
Yeah.
and they're a lot harder to find. If I could find a lot of the keys that I'm looking for as a UK price variant, especially and save the money and getting a higher grade, I'd jump all over it. I think that eventually the market
It'll balance
is
out. Yeah.
gonna catch on to that because how many people are into Canadian price variants? How many people are into, the new Mexican stuff that's been coming out that's the
Yeah. I
foil
personally don't.
covers and all
I
of
don't
that
really
stuff?
like the Mexican stuff
A lot of
personally.
people are actually going down and picking up that stuff. One of the guys from Bronze and Modern God said he was going down and picking up big chunks of that stuff because they've been publishing those comics in Mexico
Mm-hmm.
for a long time. And actually, he said that they said that in Mexico, they got the rights to do their own Spider-Man comics
Yeah.
because
So
they
they
were
kept it
reprinting
going, didn't they?
Marvel, but they
Yeah.
were reprinting them weekly,
Yeah.
and they ran out of Spider-Man.
Yeah. So they kept the story going with MJ being married to Spider-Man and stuff. That's
Yeah, that
yeah.
whole thing there, and then it was all a dream, I guess. But yeah, that's an interesting thing that they actually did that, and that's actually, I guess, why they came out with Peter Parker Spectacular Spider-Man was so that they could have more stuff for them to
To
reprint. That was one of the reasons why they came out with that.
Oh wow,
So
that's very cool. Yeah, I mean some of those would be cool. Actually, I just learned about one that's even weirder. So Spider-Man, when it came to Japan, okay, the first company that got the rights to publish Spider-Man in Japan was Playboy.
oh, interesting.
So the first Spider-Man like Japanese versions of it were all in early Playboys. So you
I just watched that the Marvel thing with the Japanese Spider-Man TV show, and that's really crazy.
So another one is Grail Hunters
From
Australia,
Australia, huh? Okay.
and Comic Tropes is another. That is a good channel, Comic Tropes. And another one I was thinking about that's kind of similar idea is Fizz Pop. He has a really good channel. If
I've
you
been
have,
keep meaning to
oops,
uh check out. Dave keeps talking about kayfabe, and I have not checked out kayfabe. I guess it's like some amazing channel.
K-Fed?
There's Jerry.
Oh, where's Jerry? Okay, why is it like you're getting the comments before I am? That's really weird.
And I'm the guest.
I know. I'm like, I'm seeing them like, and you say, oh, there's Jerry. I'm like, I don't see Jerry. So yeah,
Yeah,
so
I think it's a comic collector kayfabe or comic something kayfabe.
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But
Yeah,
it's a group of people who are artists and
yeah, I've
talking
watched
about
them. Yeah, they're talking
yeah
about that from that perspective. Yeah.
yeah.
So
So
Jerry, we were talking about you. We were telling people to subscribe to your channel and check out your awesome restoration techniques. They're really awesome.
and how we watched you do these things and we were like just like in awe
Hypnotized.
of somebody
Yeah,
willing to get these things wet and do all these crazy things to comics.
yeah. And another one that Collecto6 mentioned, Open by Chance and Lady Pop Hunter. Those two
Yeah, I was
channels.
open my chance and Lady Pop Hunter.
Yeah,
Lady
they're
Pop
kind of
Hunter actually
husband and wife.
wished me happy birthday. So
Oh, I'm terrible. I should have wished you happy birthday.
I actually had a post that said it was my birthday this week, and I said these three characters also appeared in 1971. Was it Man Thing, Doc Samson, and who was the third one? Man Thing, Doc Samson. Oh, and Morbius. And I said,
Oh,
who's your
really?
favorite out of those three? And
That's
Man Thing
cool.
won hands down. Everybody loved Man Thing.
Wow.
But
For my birthday, my birthday is 1973. Deep Throat came out.
oh
That
wow, there
movie.
you go.
And in terms of comics, it was Hensei. That comic, the Hensei, the girl that loves the swastika.
Oh,
That came out.
Hansi?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hansi. Yeah, that
Those
came out.
Spire comics, I remember those. I used to go to church camp for the summer, and I remember they used to have all the Spire comics there.
Mm-hmm. And did you mention
Suddenly
anybody that
comics.
Suddenly Comics? Of course.
Yeah,
Seems like obvious. So that's what always happens, right? You think, oh, I don't know anyone to mention, and then you like once you start thinking about it, there's all these channels. Like it's pretty crazy.
yeah. Well, I've got to mention my friend Travis, Comics Limited. I mean, I've done a
Comics
shout out
Limited.
video for him,
Yeah.
but he's a really cool guy. So sub him
And
up if you guys haven't already.
and people that are not familiar, Suddenly Comics is my friend Mark Oldroyd, and he's in the UK. He shows some pretty cool stuff. He's been actually, he has made his channel into something where he now sells comics. He does Whatnot and all this kind of stuff, and he puts out pretty cool videos. He
That's
talks about
awesome.
UK price variance a lot, actually, so it's kind of fun. Old guys who like comics. Do you know that channel?
Old guys who like old comics. No, that sounds
Old
like me
guys who
though.
like old comics, yeah. And Jason Mink, or is that the same person? I'm not sure.
We're gonna have a laundry list of things to check out when we get done.
Yeah. So there's like lots of content we can watch here.
Well, that's
Yeah.
what the whole point is, right? We're trying to get people more interconnected
Mm-hmm.
and checking out other channels. And in my original video for the comic book shout out idea, I was talking about there is so much content out there that people aren't aware of that we could do shout out videos once a day for like a couple months probably, or 3 or 4 months, and not repeat anything and have
Yeah,
completely new stuff to look at every day.
yeah, that's pretty awesome. Like, I mean, that's what's great. It's a great topic to use as like a content generator because you can constantly put out videos shouting out different channels. So yeah,
Right.
yeah. By the way, so happy birthday to TJ. I guess he
Yes,
just
TJ,
turned
happy birthday,
60.
buddy.
Yeah.
Collecto turned 70 in 3 months. There you go, buddy.
Do you collect World War II covers, comics, I should say?
Uh, in
Yes, for
particular,
me.
like the covers or
Comics. I think he's just referring to the comics, World War II comics. Do you?
I know a lot of the stuff that you mean. I'm always excited when I come across a book that came out during the World War II era because they're so rare because of the paper drives and everything.
Oh yeah. That's the way I feel about those books. Actually, we're gonna do an unboxing. I have one box as well that I'm going to be showing on this video at some point, and in it are I think they're World War II era. They're in that era. There's 2 books inside.
I've already unboxed some stuff, but I can show you what I unboxed. I was
Yeah.
so tired from work yesterday. My wife goes, "Hey, you got 2 packages." I went, "Oh, cool." And I went in and I set them down and I passed out and never opened the
Wow. Yeah.
packages.
Yeah. See, that's what happens. I mean, it's just like, you know, work can kind of drain you, and then you're like, oh, I'll do it later. I'll do it
Right. No,
after.
I woke up like 3 hours later. I was like, "Oh, must open package."
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's funny. Like whenever I like, because I'm in Canada, right? I have those big stackery boxes where I've been ordering comics all month long, and they just fill up with these big boxes. By the time that I'm doing those videos, I'm so dead because I've worked like a 16-hour day, and then I'm filming for about 8 hours. So it's like
Right.
almost like a 24-hour stint that I'm doing in order to do those videos. So it's always funny watching my unboxing videos. You can tell like I'm barely able to remember my own name.
I
So
talked in my shout out that I'm always afraid that you're going to hurt yourself carrying those boxes up to your attic.
yeah,
And I
exactly.
did my little Popeye pop up next to you. I said, "I don't know how you do it."
Yeah. So Collecto 6 is turning 70 in 3 months. So in 3 months, we all have to wish him a happy birthday. I might do a live stream with him on his birthday.
There you go.
That'd be fun.
Send him a
Um,
present.
so how about we do this? How about we show some of your books
Okay.
that and then I'll show my unboxing.
Okay. So one of the channels that I shout out is West Coast Avengers, and so I've been buying some stuff from him. He does a claim sale on Wednesdays called West Coast Wednesday, and so I picked up.
Oh, nice. What's funny? I was just looking at that book today. That's the second appearance of the Vulture.
Yeah, yeah. So picked that up from him. During he actually had a online or on YouTube comic convention where he was on live on camera for 11 hours a day for 2 days. It was pretty crazy. So I also
Oh,
picked up.
wow. You picked up some really major books.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That actually looks pretty solid too.
It is he has it marked at a 6.5 before
Nice.
a clean and press.
Wow.
So yeah, and I picked it up for $400.
Wow. So you
Yeah,
you said you spent quite a bit of money actually.
yeah, yeah. I picked up. This is first Peggy Carter in
Yeah.
cameo and Sharon Carter
Cool.
first appearance.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
a super
that's
big
a
one.
very underrated key. That's a pretty major key.
Yeah. Um, First cameo of Mystique.
Mystique, yeah.
Yeah. And these are just the ones that I got. I've got like 3 different piles here to show. So, um,
Oh, and then the first, what's her name? Gamora.
Gamora, first Gamora.
Yep.
And then Mon Comics, he talks about having a side quest. My side quest is I saw Jim on Bronzeville Comics a long time ago or he bought a collection and he got a whole chunk of the Byrne Claremont X-Men. And
Oh,
I had
wow.
that twinge where I was like, I want that.
Yeah, that'd be
Whereas
cool.
before I had just been kind of doing key collecting. But I remember, deep in my heart of hearts, when I was a kid, I collected X-Men. I had
The Run?
at one point before I had to sell my whole collection in bad financial things. I had a run of X-Men all the way down to #1, missing a few sporadic issues here and
Yeah,
there, but I
yeah.
had a really high grade #1.
Oh, wow.
But, so
What's that one?
that is number 97, X-Men.
So sort of like that'd be 3 issues in of
Yeah, yeah. Just fill in the run. It's not a super big key or anything,
I'm
but
trying to think of like if it's key.
yeah, no. Another one here.
That's cool.
And Byrne Claremont
Oh, that's interesting.
Arcade.
That's yeah, I know. I recognize that cover.
Yeah, Arcades captured the X-Men and turned them into
He has
circus
that
side
sort of
attractions.
yeah, yeah, yeah. He was sort of an interesting character.
And then he had a set of first Blue Beetle.
Oh wow. And that's the right one. There's two
Yeah,
covers for
but
that.
he had the one that I thought was interesting was the second printing
Oh wow,
sketch
I
cover.
haven't seen that.
Perez, it's a Perez sketch cover.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I thought that was pretty cool.
that is cool.
So that's the first little chunk. If you want to do your thing, then
Yeah, yeah. Just wait. There's one question for you. BigBy, what's your favorite World War II superhero, popular or obscure?
well, it's got to go. I got to go Cap and Bucky, I guess. For World War II superhero. But
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, from watching, and I haven't read a whole lot of the World War II era stuff.
Hmm.
The obscure stuff. But I think Fighting Yank looks kind of interesting.
Yeah, he's
Um,
kind of a funny character. Yeah.
and I picked up an issue a little while ago that had I think I showed it to you early on. It had the Hangman, which I
Yeah,
thought
I
was
haven't read any of that character's stories, but
yeah, it
he
looked
looks
really.
interesting.
I mean,
Yeah,
you couldn't do that character nowadays, but
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting character, like the Hangman. That's like such a
yeah,
weird.
I mean, he's got the noose
Yeah, the
around his
noose.
neck and
Yeah,
everything. Yeah,
it's like so crazy. Yeah, I always thought the Hangman was interesting. Whenever I see those comics come up, like at auction, they go for big money. Like those Hangman ones, they're quite
yeah.
rare.
This one I got was Liberty Comics, I think, and it's in super high grade. I got it
Mhm.
way back, but it's Liberty Comics. I forget, but it's got the Hangman running behind this guy who's kind of like absconding with this woman, this monster looking guy.
Harry Lucy drew the Hangman in Pep.
Yeah, okay, there you go. So
Yeah,
he's in that Liberty Comics that I was just talking about.
yeah, yeah.
So
I also recognized him from Pep as well. Pep, Pep is one of those interesting ones where it was not about Archie until
no, it kind of turned into being about Archie, but
yeah,
before that it
yeah,
was more of
superhero. Like all these like guys fighting Nazis and stuff like that. All the early issues of them like fighting the Nazis and stuff. It's pretty cool.
I always thought Wolverine would be better for Jean Grey.
Yeah, everyone, that in a way
Cyclops is a
the
dick.
Marvel movies kind of set that whole like love triangle up, right?
No, it was in the comics actually before that. And they even when they did the classic X-Men, the
Mhm.
backup story really even kind of filled out that love triangle story even more in the backup stories.
Wow.
So yeah,
Yeah, I didn't know. I haven't like X-Men. I haven't really read the later issues. I read the first maybe 10 to 20 books, like so
uh,
X-Men 1 to 20, but I haven't read
uh,
the later stuff, the stuff, Claremont's run and all that kind of stuff. I didn't read.
Claremont's run is amazing. I was just
Yeah.
talking to Dave over at West Coast, and I was just like explaining to him how, as a young adult reading that run,
Mhm.
it was so great. The here the X-Men first get together, they rescue the original X-Men.
Mhm.
Then they're sent out on this mission to go try to stop Magneto in the Savage Land. Professor Xavier thinks they're dead, and it's this whole whirlwind world tour of them trying to get back to
To the real
Professor
world. Yeah.
Xavier and the X-Men mansion. And so they're
Mhm.
going all over the place, Japan, and all over the place. So it's a really cool
High nostalgic, by the way. I just want to quickly say that.
Neil Adams stuff too. John Byrne, yeah,
John
John
Byrne,
Byrne is
Nico
amazing.
Adams. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, they're pretty great. Okay, I'm gonna do my quick unboxing. Mine's not
okay.
that. It's not. It's just two books. It's just two books.
So can anybody name the issue number? There's a Neil Adams issue number, X-Men issue, where they edited his artwork, and it was kind of the reason I think that he left uh,
Oh,
Marvel
really?
for a while. Yeah, it was. I think the cover says like this, the Beast from the Stars or something like that. But the monster that he had put on, they said it was too scary, and so they drew a different monster on the cover that the X-Men were fighting. It's an original X-Men story, but
Oh, this has
which
got
X-Men
really
cartoon?
strong
90s or
smell.
X-Men Evolution? I got to go with the 90s one, but I mean that's classic.
Okay, these have a really strong
No, it
smell.
wasn't Sauron. It says like the Beast from the Stars. Maybe it's 59, but it was a Neil Adams cover, but they edited out his monster and put in a different one.
Oh wow, I can see that why that would upset him. Okay, so I'm going to show my quick unboxing here, just quickly. So I took it out of the package. Really strong smell. If you guys could smell what I smell, it's pretty insane.
Can you
Um,
smell what the Allen is cooking?
I'm not sure when these are from. This is from 1950.
Oh wow,
So these are pulps. I bought a couple pulps. They were
that's
really
neat.
cheap. Yeah, so I think I paid like $5-10 each. So I don't know. I saw it as a sexy girl. She's naked. That's always a good thing.
Allen always likes his naked girls.
Yeah, naked girls. This one's in pretty rough shape. You can see. It's tape on the spine and stuff. That's the problem with pulps. They're usually very mangled. So this one's
Well, they
actually the
weren't.
better of the two.
It's amazing that comics and pulps have held up as well as they have. They were never made to
Oh yeah,
last the test of time.
yeah. This one's really rough. Okay, so the second one, another good girl art cover. This guy with the
But
bare
it's
head
a
and
headlight cover.
headlight cover. Yeah. This is Startling Suspense Stories. This is also from July of 1950. And this one is just in really rough shape. Like,
Is that a little tatter coming off the back?
oh yeah, it is just like barely like, you can see the cover's barely hanging on here.
Uh, that's cool though. I love the cover.
Yeah, I love it. So that's why I bought it, just because I thought the cover was cool. I mean, it was really, really cheap. Really, really cheap. These pulps, the funny thing is, pulps are kind of coming into their own now. Where collectors are starting to go after them, and I've seen pulps go for hundreds of dollars now.
Yeah, I was wondering when that was finally going to happen. Like one of the local stores, Excalibur Comics, the owner, his name was Peter. He was big into pulps in the 80s and 90s. He was just amassing a huge collection. And I would look at the covers and I was like, why aren't these things worth more money?
I know some of the covers, like I think this is a pretty cool cover, like and
There it is. Number 65 is Slave of the Star Spawn. I think that's the one that the X-Men issue I was
for
talking
X-Men.
about.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is something that people don't realize. CGC will allow you to trim the pulps. You know how they're all usually if you look at a pulp, and these ones aren't too bad for this, but if you look at the edge, I'm not sure if you can see that, but it's usually a little bit kind of all over the place. You're allowed to trim that, and it doesn't count as restoration.
What?
Isn't that insane?
That's
So
nuts.
that's according to CGC now. But who knows if that will change in the future, right?
That
I
can't
I
stand.
wouldn't recommend that trimming your books. Don't trim it.
All
but
right.
but
Just give it a slight haircut.
yeah. If you do that, you can get in trouble. That's what happened with my Iron Man, my Suspense 39.
Yeah.
Like somebody, like they didn't even trim it properly. Like they literally like trimmed like one little corner. Like it has like just a little like on the corner, and that's it. It's just like that.
That's crazy.
And so that takes that book from being worth tens of thousands down to like maybe 10,000. You know what I mean? It just kills the value. But because it's a 7.0.
X-Men Teen Titans is really good. I would agree.
Okay. Have you ever read X-Men Teen Titans crossover? Yeah.
It was good. I mean, a lot of people don't realize that Teen Titans was DC's answer to the X-Men. I mean, they were the top selling books at the time, and
I didn't realize
that
they
was
had
my
a crossover.
introduction. That was my introduction to what's his name, Slade Wilson. My brain just went black or blank. Uh, the Terminator, Deathstroke. That was my
Oh yeah,
introduction to
Deathstroke. Yeah,
Deathstroke. Was
yeah,
in
yeah,
that book.
yeah.
Yeah. And it brought in a lot of the cosmic stuff with Darkseid, and you
Mm-hmm.
had Phoenix or Dark Phoenix. It was a good story.
So when it was like a crossover between X-Men and Teen Titans.
Yeah, there was a crossover between X-Men and the Teen Titans in the
Oh,
80s.
well, I
Yeah,
didn't know.
it was drawn by Walt Simonson, I think, and Perez.
Oh, okay, I never read that, so that's cool. So I wasn't really collecting those kind of books in the 80s. So that's why, in a weird way, my knowledge of like the Bronze Age and Copper Age is a little bit iffy. I'm more on the like the '90s up, and then
Uh-huh.
the Silver Age down kind of thing.
Yeah. Alan, if you get the chance, read it. It's a really good book.
Okay. One sec here. Question: Do you
Yeah, Beast Boy and Kitty Pryde kind of liked each other. Yeah.
have you ever heard of the Angry Girlfriend variant of Amazing Spider-Man 14?
Yeah,
Yes, I have heard of that. It's a
that was
very
the
funny
one
story.
Obito has a video all about that.
That book actually goes for quite a bit of money, I imagine, because it's like, it's a crazy story.
It's like, I think it says "Go to Hell" on the cover in big black
It's
marker.
like, oh yeah, it's like destroyed, but yeah,
It's the story behind it,
it's
right?
a story, yeah. Um, yeah, so it was Simonson, he was saying.
Yeah, is a great cover. The X-Men Teen Titans cover, when you look at it too, there's the
Beast Boy and Kitty
Phoenix, and
Pryde
part of
like
her
each other.
face is in shadow. And when you see her face in shadow, it's a skeleton in the shadow. So you
Oh,
see,
okay.
it's amazing the way Simonson did it.
Wow. Okay, I'll have to check that out. So that's X-Men, like what?
It's
X-Men.
X-Men Teen Titans is the name of the book. It's a crossover between Marvel and DC.
Okay.
Yeah,
I read most of my comics online, so I'll just search for it. See if I
yeah,
can find
good book. Everybody read it.
everybody read that. That's the other shout out. Shout out to great comics. That's very cool. Um, yeah. What was I reading? Like I don't know.
So
I was
pulps, is
reading
that was your?
Disney books at that
You just
time.
had the two pulps?
Yeah, I just had the two pulps. It was not a big unboxing. It was just two pulps. Like it bought it from a Canadian vendor. So like whenever I buy
Gotcha.
stuff from Canadians, I just get.
Well, can I show more things?
Yeah, show more things.
Okay, so on Dave's thing, he had his buddy. Oh, what is his name? I'll forget his name. I'll remember his name in a bit. But I mentioned to him that it was my birthday, so he sent me. I showed this to Alan earlier.
Mhm.
A timely book, the
That's
amalgam book, Spider Boy, which has actually got some value now.
yeah, that's a big key nowadays. So does that really count as Spider Boy's first appearance, or is it like
It's not that Spider Boy, but it is the first
I know
appearance
it's
of
not
the
as
character named Spider
yeah
Boy.
yeah. So
And then I got the Spider-Man #1, this is the second ongoing series for Miles Morales.
oh, okay.
That was kind of a impulse buy. These three books were an impulse buy. Spider-Man #1. Nobody was bidding on it, or nobody was taking him up on it, and so Captain America, the first John Walker issue, and for some reason this seemed like a good idea to pick up to me. Injustice
Oh,
#1.
okay. Yeah.
This is the first appearance of all the Injustice characters, and
Oh, wow.
Injustice Superman keeps showing up in different things now. He's a terrible character.
Oh, okay.
He's a
But
bad,
Injustice
bad man.
was Injustice the video game?
It's
Was
the
that?
video game. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
hmm So then I also picked up from them second appearance of Claw, Fantastic 456.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's in a pretty decent grade.
Oh, and Candlestick Cinema's asking, do you like pulp like Green Llama, the Shadow? I actually like the Shadow. I actually want to get Green Llama's, early comics because they're fairly affordable, and
Yeah,
I think he's kind of a cool
he's
looking.
got some great covers too,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah. The one where he's
And
with
the
like the
Shadow has some
swastika.
amazing covers.
Yeah. So there was the warehouse find of some of his comics for the Green Llama.
So I also picked up
Oh,
the
wait, did
first solo Wolverine
Joe say
story.
goodnight? Oh, good night, Joe. Sorry.
Good night.
And yeah, good night, Joe. Okay, sorry.
First solo Wolverine story.
Yep, and the Hellfire Club, right?
Yeah. And timely, here's a timely book. Since she's dying, first appearance of Kamala Khan.
Now you got to get the last appearance of Kamala Khan.
And actually, that was the secondary one. This is the one that I was excited to get, was the
Yeah,
first
that's the
appearance of
first Carol Danvers.
Carol as Captain
Captain
Marvel.
Marvel. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I don't know why he had this priced so low, but I
Oh,
picked
nice.
this up at a 9.8 for $50.
Oh, that's a good price. I think
I was
that's
like,
what the raws go for.
yeah, I was like, okay.
Sure. I mean, that's basically the cost of the slab nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, and then got a crazy deal on this. Conan #1 and a 5.0. It's not been cleaned or pressed, so hoping to get that punched
Ooh.
up and
Hmm.
get a better grade on it. But
You have to do like one of those videos where you record yourself with the book first, and then you show the CGC unboxing where you take it out, and it's like, oh, it's like, what grade did I
I
get?
have a video I need to do about. I've only ever submitted one group of books to CGC,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a train wreck, and CGC damaged my first appearance of the Goon.
Oh wow!
They put a
So
big
destroy
thumb
your
bend in
duck.
it. Yeah, so I'd only got an 8.0. When I sent it in, we were thinking it was 9.6 at
Oh wait,
least.
wait, Goon. Oh, you mean Goon? I was thinking Gru. Goon. Oh, so like
The
Dreamwalker,
Goon,
Dreamweaver,
Dreamwalker.
Dreamweaver. Yeah,
Yeah, the one I
Dreamwalker.
showed you that I picked up for $5.
I know. I was so jealous. I paid like $100 or $200 for that. I
I
was
had
like,
to hold my straight face as I'm flipping through that box, like, because the
hmm.
person who owned the comics was looking right over my shoulder and they had the $5 price tag on it. And I was like, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, that's a great book.
So, I did mention I picked up some big books, right? So,
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's a good one too. How
yeah,
much was that one?
this one. So I bundled the next one and this one together. So this one and
Oh
this one,
wow.
and
That's
I
in a
got
9.8 too. Signed
the
9.8. Wow.
yeah, signed 9.8. So I got the two of them for 1,100.
Wow. I mean, I'm thinking that seems like a really good deal.
Yeah, the
Because
25FF.
I think
A lot of
that
them are
goes for
around
like
a
at least,
$1,000. So
yeah, yeah. I was gonna say it's about $1,000 book, and then the other
and
one's probably 200 to 300.
the Spider-Man, the first Silk one there, it's anywhere from $400 to $600.
Oh wow, it's more than what I thought. I have it
So
too, but I didn't realize it was that expensive.
yeah, well, in a
I
9.8,
was thinking like 200 to 300, but wow, like
yeah, in a 9.8 signed with the signature confirmation on it, you know.
yeah,
So
it drives up the price a bit more even.
yeah,
Wow, those are really good books. You picked up some awesome stuff. Is that the first print or is that the
it's the first
reprint?
print. Yeah,
Oh wow. Oh, and nice. I need that book actually. That's what I'm looking for.
I so guys, I'm not Mr. Moneybags or anything. I just sold like my entire Magic the Gathering card collection basically, and
Ah,
started buying comics with it with the money because I'm like
wow.
the cards were just sitting around.
That's pretty cool.
Um, so first
That's
full Ultron.
Ultron, yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
And more
Oh,
X-Men.
wait. Biggie's here. Hi, Biggie. He also got a FFs.
Hey, cool. Oh, he got FF6.
And that's
Nice.
another channel we got to shout out. So shout out to Biggie. Subscribe to
Yeah.
his channel. Um,
So yeah, Proteus and Hellfire Club.
bye, Ozzy.
Hi, Ozzy. Good to see you, man. Thanks for answering my question.
Wow, you picked up some amazing books.
And then I got some freebies for being the top spender. I got a brand new Dark Knight trade and a brand new Watchmen trade.
So
And then,
Biggie's was a raw 1.5 of the.
oh, nice.
Yeah.
Then I got a Dave sent me for my birthday
Power Pack.
Minty Power Pack #1 because we were talking about it. I'm like, I collected that book when I was a kid.
Mm.
Then I got a #1 tick.
That's really cool. I used to think that was the first appearance, but then so I was super happy when I first got that book, that #1, and then I realized that there's a book earlier, and it's the special one. The
And
special.
so I picked up the first Captain Marvel from his buddy, and then Dave had this one up on the wall for $5. So it was like
Oh
second
wow.
one.
Oh, that's cool.
and some more X-Men.
Oh, that's a cool book. I know that one.
Yeah. 105, Phoenix versus Firelord.
Mm-hmm.
95.
Okay.
Okay, Alan. Do you have one of these, Alan? Here's a question. Do I have a book that do you have one of these?
Oh yeah, the gold foil version, the Lethal
Yeah.
Protector. I have the red version.
Yeah. So this was the one per store, I believe. So
Yeah, yeah. So was that expensive?
he was asking 650 for it, and I was able to bundle it with a bunch of other stuff, and I got it down to like 500.
Okay. Yeah, I know
So
that's the pricey one. The Lethal Protectors, the red covers, they were expensive at one point, and they've
they're
really
like
come
20,
down.
30 bucks, I think, for the red ones.
Yeah, but no, I was seeing people grade with graded slabs of it, and it was like they were getting hundreds of dollars for them. Like
So the gold one estimated was a 9.4 to a 9.6.
mhm.
And then with a press, maybe, who knows, 9.6 to 9.8. I don't know.
Okay, wait, I gotta say some of the do some of the chats up here. Hey, dope, another great channel. We were talking about you earlier, and who else? And I just everybody just saying wow. Okay, I just want to keep
And a
up with.
Voltron #1.
Okay, wait, show that again. Sorry, I was doing the chat thing.
Voltron
That's it.
#1?
Yeah, I actually have that. Do I have it handy? No, I don't have it handy. I
A
used to
newsy.
have it right there.
A newsy Voltron #1.
Wow. I actually think that the Newsies and the regulars were around the same number at that time. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. But like we're saying, newsies are harder to find in good shape.
I know. Yeah, it's more about the condition. But that's a
Yeah.
really
So
nice, that looks like a sharp copy.
it is a sharp copy. And actually, like I was saying, most of the people that shop on his channel, and there's somebody asking me where I was shopping. I'll answer that in a second. But most people that shop on his channel are buying like things between $5 and $15, $20. So anything that's
Mhm.
more expensive, I can usually haggle a little bit. So
Yeah, yeah.
he had 50 on this. I got it for 35.
Wow.
So,
Wow. So I bought that for cover price back in the day.
well, there you go. Can't beat that. This is the last one.
Wow.
Nine
That's
six first Nightwing.
Nightwing, yeah. That's a great one.
So I was buying stuff on my buddy Dave's channel, West Coast Dave Ingers. He does a claim sale. Okay, I'm going to say he has a claim sale every Wednesday. It's called West Coast Wednesday, but this week he's not having one, and he's taking the week after off. So this week he's on some Instagram channel. So
Dude, I bought two CGC 9.6s of 254. The first UFOs. Each book was not 9.6 in my opinion. One had
oh, he got them back. He bought them as a graded 9.6, and they weren't 9.6. I've seen some videos of people. They're like, I got this book back from CGC and it was a 9.8, and I'm pissed. They're like, it shouldn't have been a 9.8.
Yeah,
So
sometimes it's weird with CGC where they will overgrade something. People have been commenting that they were like they're not going to disagree with the grade because it's in their advantage, but they don't necessarily believe that it's the grade it is.
well, that's what a lot of people say: buy the book, not the grade. So if you look at a
Yeah.
book in a slab and it doesn't appear to be the right grade, you know, don't buy it if you don't like the way it looks. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so Nostalgic Pod Blast, yeah, First Nightwing. I think that's an extremely underrated book.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's got a lot of. So that First Nightwing is a 9.6 newsstand. I
Wow.
got it for
I
I
didn't
got it
realize
for
it was
two.
a newsstand too. Wow.
Yeah, I got it for $200. So
Wow. When was that from? 1970s or 80s? I thought it was
it's in the
80s.
80s. It's from
82?
1984.
84. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Very cool.
So I have a question for you, Alan, and
Uh-oh. Okay.
everybody actually. So when you're handling your books,
Oh yeah.
Do you grab them from this side? I always grab them from this side. I never want to grab from the spine side.
So I was told that you don't actually grab it from the sides at all. You grab it from
Ah,
the top bottom thing.
yeah. So I was always under the impression that this is the side that is most sensitive to damage.
Hmm.
You're going to get your spine ticks and everything else. So
So
yeah,
what
top
happens is if
top
you grab it
bottom
from
or
either
this side.
side, it will cause spine to kind of crinkle.
Yeah.
So, but it seems it doesn't seem to matter when I grab my books. That it doesn't seem to impact them that much.
Yeah, the way you grab them, it doesn't matter. You could grab them. Yeah.
So yeah, but
Can I show some artwork that people could win?
yeah. Do you want me to make you big so you can show it properly?
Well, you can do that.
Yeah.
So
I'm making you
so
big.
just some examples of my artwork, guys. This is
That's a really great Hulk.
Hulk getting blasted by. I haven't decided if it's Iron Man or Doctor Doom that's blasting him, but somebody's blasting him.
That's pretty cool.
Um,
So how often do you draw? Like, I mean, how like
so Travis and I were getting together once a week and just doing some sketching, and that's kind of what these are. Um, Here's a
oh,
Captain
that's cool.
Marvel.
That classic punching pose, that flying punching pose.
There's Jean Grey becoming Phoenix.
Oh, that's cool. Did you ever try drawing on the computer?
Did I ever what?
Try, where you draw on the computer, like everyone
Yeah,
now
I
just
used
seems
to
to
have
do
a
it.
Wacom tablet where I would do artwork on the computer.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Here's a zombie drawing I did for Halloween last year.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
What's the thing in the foreground or like at the bottom there?
There's the guy. This guy is getting. So the zombie's standing up and it's kind of got blood and gore kind of getting ripped out of this guy. There's some hands down here of the person who's the victim.
Oh, okay. I could just see the hands. Yeah, I was kind of curious.
Yeah, it's just kind of supposed to be implied that there's
He's
someone
being
down
ripped
there who
apart,
just got kind of
eaten.
eviscerated. Here's a
Oh, that's really
Spidey.
good. I like the skull. It's really good.
Uh, this is a logo for my buddy's podcast.
Oh wow, Wood Turner's Journey.
So just kind of showing you guys if you guys do put some videos out, I'll do artwork for you. It'll be of this kind of quality. And
So do you ever like ink it and like color it?
usually I do that stuff digitally so that it's I'm I'm
So you
always
would
worried
you would
about
you
making a
would scan it.
mistake. I can take it
You
back if I do it on a computer.
so you would scan it and then just retrace it. Is that the idea?
Yeah, I scan it and use the computer to first I'll darken up the image and then I'll ink it in and take out anything that I don't like and then
Is that
colorize it.
is that what a lot of artists do nowadays, where they'll first sketch it and then put it into the computer, or do they just
Yeah,
everything
so a
in the
lot of
computer?
that's the way people who collect original art, a lot of stuff you can't get the original art anymore because it's all done
Yeah, it's
digitally.
all done. That's why I was wondering. Yeah.
I ran into a guy that I've become good friends with who his one of his good friends is the guy who created Spider Gwen, and I
Oh
was like,
wow,
"Does he have the original artwork?" And he said
that'd
it
be
was all
worth a
done
fortune.
digitally.
Wow, that's so sad.
Yeah.
So,
So
what grade do you think your raw miles is?
the Ultimate Fallout 4.
Yeah.
Uh, so he sold it to me as an 8.5 to a 9,
Okay.
but he said the guy that pressed it for him said that as it sits, it could be a 9.2, maybe a 9.4. So he sold it. He always errs on the side of
So he
caution.
sold it to you as an 8.5 then, or
Yeah, 8.5 to a 9.
okay.
So
So is it like, does it have any spine, like color breaking spine ticks or?
Let me find it. Let's take a look.
So we're gonna professionally grade this right now.
We're gonna professionally grade this book on the air. I don't believe it had any spine ticks. No, this book is beautiful.
So yeah, maybe it'll be a 9.4, 9.6.
Yeah. So here I can give you a close up look at it, but
Here, I'll make you big again.
there's the spine, looks great. I don't know what their criteria was for thinking that it was.
Sometimes like you know, it's the back cover that kind of throw it off or whatever.
Yeah.
Looks
So
looks like the
and I picked that one up for $2.75.
That's a really good price for that book.
Yeah, I thought so. Uh so here's the story behind getting that for $2.75. Oh, there's a gal that she's on your channel sometimes talking. Her name's Amber, but her screen name, I forget her screen name.
Girl on
Anyway,
my
she
channel?
buys. What's that?
A girl on my channel or on Biggie's channel?
Yeah, I see her on your channel talking a lot of times. Anyway, she and I both have been grabbing up X-Men, and she grabbed or Dave showed some stuff that he was going to be bringing or talked about. He said, I'm going to be pulling out like some X-Men in the early 100s. And then some time went by, and he said, "Is there anything anybody wants to see?" And one of the books he said was like X-Men 111 or something. And
do you mean Lady Fantastic?
No, it's not Lady Fantastic. I'm sorry, but anyway, I'm waiting.
Talking about K-pop?
No,
I don't know her real name, so I'm just.
Yeah, I don't know. Her name is Amber. Is like I can't think of her YouTube identity. Anyway, so Amber says I want to see the X-Men 111, and I'm like, yes, I want to see that as well. And he pulls it out and he puts it up on the wall, and I'm like, claim,
sure,
claim whatever. And she started asking questions about it. Well, I had already claimed it. And he's like, well, she asked me to pull it out. And I was like, but I was waiting.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that's fine. And I said, well, since you gave that to her, how about 275 on the first miles? And he's like, okay, that's fair.
Oh wow. That's not too bad. That worked out for you. I think that's a better deal.
Yeah.
So will you send these off to CGC now, or?
I have so many books that I need to send off to CGC, and like I said, I've got that nightmare video that I have to send to show you and put up just some it was a buddy of mine. I never have been into grading books myself, and he says, hey, I've got room for 6 books in the submission that I'm sending in. I need 6 more books to get to where I can send this submission in. And he's like, I said, are you getting them pressed and cleaned? He said, oh, no, I don't get my books pressed and cleaned. You don't need to worry about that. Let's go through. We'll find some stuff that we know is going to be 9698.
Wow.
And so of the books that we sent in, one of them came back as a 98. It was the first appearance of Clown Hunter, the sketch edition.
Oh, yes.
One per store sketch edition one.
I have that actually.
And then my first appearance of Dazzler came back as a 9.6.
Oh wow, that's a cool book to get.
Yeah, but I have to question in my head now, if it was pressed and cleaned, would it be a 9.8?
Yeah, I know. That's Well, that's the same
because the graders now said slight.
I have an Ultimate Fallout 4 as well, and it came back in 9.4. And I didn't press and clean it. I didn't know that that's what you should do. I didn't think that was like legitimate, because I was still new to this whole idea of slabbing. So I was like, oh, you can press and clean it? So,
right.
Yeah. I probably, yeah.
So somebody's asking how much that Ultimate Fallout 4 goes for. So originally he was asking 350 for that when I bought it.
Yeah,
So
I think that's about right for like a 9.0 85 or
yeah,
something. Yeah.
he was asking 350 for the 9.0, the 85 to 9.0 range,
Yeah.
and so I feel like I got a pretty good deal. And then if you get it pressed and cleaned, and
Like 9.8s, they've come down. I think it's like 1,500 to 2,000 range, right? For now, like
yeah,
for
I think they've come down a little bit, but I think
it
that
was up to like
Miles is
5,000 at one point.
Miles is a great character to sit on. I think same with Spider Gwen. I think they're both great characters to
Hmm.
of the newer characters. I think they're really great characters.
The only problem that I have with that book, I think it's a good book. Don't get me wrong, but it's just there's so many copies of it out there.
Yeah,
It's because it is a more modern book. It just the print is there's many more that were saved compared to like something like I don't know, something like Silver Age, or you know what I mean?
that's why I didn't want to spend a lot on it. And actually, I'm kind of chastising myself because I sold all those cards so that I could buy some grails. Well, I got a couple grails, I guess you could call them that
No,
stuff,
those are all actually you showed about maybe 10 or so Grail books.
yeah. But I'm kind
I'd
of like,
say
well, I could have been more wise with my money. I really wanted to save up and get a really big book, like like a AF-15 or something, but
yeah. But what I don't know, in a way, would you rather have like 10 cool books, like I mean in that cool range, or maybe 20 cool books, or one really big book? Do you know what I mean?
right,
Like, there's always that balance. Like, sometimes I actually don't mind having a broader collection than just one book and that's it. Like, if I sold everything that I have, maybe I could buy an Action One. And, that'd be cool. I'd have an Action One, but then I'd be out all these other cool books that I like. You know what I mean? So,
right. Yeah, there's yeah, I gotta a lot of times I could think about like all the money I've spent on books over time, and if I had just put those that money towards grails instead of all of the newer issues of things and filler issues.
mhm.
Oh, the first Carol Danvers issue, I think it's a really cool issue. Or the first Captain Marvel.
Yeah, yeah. I actually picked that up. Like it was sort of like one of those things where they just somebody said, "Oh, this is her first." Like I picked it up during the just before the Captain Marvel movie came out,
Right.
so I didn't even pay that much for it. I think I paid like I know it was under $100, and mine's like a 9.6. So,
Who thinks Kamala Khan's gonna stay dead?
um, the problem with Kamala Khan is they really put a lot of effort into her, but didn't really get the success with her. Like her series never did well. Her first, like I would say, her first 10 or so comics were actually pretty good. But the problem was they got woke they with her, whereas she can't be flawed anymore. She can't be like
Right.
they try to make her too perfect, and then that's when they started losing people's interest. Um, so I think they're trying to kill her off as a way to appease the mob in a way.
I don't think she's gonna stay dead. I was just looking at like
I don't think she'll stay dead either. Does
it
anyone
reminds
stay
me so
dead?
much of the death of Captain America. Even the fallen son, it's like thing when they did Captain America was fallen son. This one
Mm-hmm.
is fallen friend, like commemorating the death of Kamala Khan. I'm like, come on, it's just gonna come. 10 issues later, she's gonna come back. Oh, it was a
Exactly.
scroll or something, or
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, they always have some way. Like the only one that stays truly dead is Uncle Ben. That's like,
even he's back. He came
oh, has
back.
he come back? He's
He came back a while ago. Uncle Ben from another
oh, but that
dimension
yeah,
or something.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. They always try to find some way to bring them back.
right. Yeah, it used to be the joke. No one stays dead except for Bucky and Uncle Ben, but no.
It's funny. I just picked up Amazing Spider-Man Annual 16. I actually had a raw copy, and I picked up like I picked up a slabbed version. I've got like a 9.0 or some in the nines. I picked it up really cheap, like
Yeah.
under $100, like maybe like $80
It's
or
so
something.
crazy, like when once the hype dies down, how cheap you can get things for sometimes.
Yeah, I was surprised. Like, before that was like a $200-300 book. If you're lucky, it had gone up to like 1,500 at one point. It was crazy. Um,
I do think Secret Invasion looks good, the show.
yeah, me too.
Somebody asked, what
It's
would Stan Lee and Jack Kirby think of the state of Marvel Comics? I think Stan would be ecstatic.
really.
Stan,
You think he would be
Stan,
happy?
Stan was always, he always made the most of everything and always made a positive spin on everything. And
Mm-hmm.
there was no press, no press is bad press as far as Stan was
Okay.
concerned.
Okay.
Kirby,
Interesting.
I don't know. He might be a little disappointed.
Yeah, I think so. I think Kirby would be more based about it, I would say.
Collecto, that's exactly what I'm doing right now.
In truth, I don't buy new. Maybe a good girl here and there, but my all my coin goes for gold and atomic age years for now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, so there some of the stuff I was showing is newer stuff, but I don't buy the new issues or read the new issues.
Mm-hmm.
I did a video on my channel recently about buying a big huge bulk lot of new books. Did you see that one, Alan? It was
No, I didn't. I
Oh
was
yeah.
watching your shout outs recently, but
Yeah.
I've been so busy. I'm really behind on watching videos, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, I bought a giant collection from a shop. They didn't want their merchandise to look devalued. So
Oh, I did see that one where you
we
bought
talked about it during
yeah,
the
yeah. No, I
interview,
did see that. I
and I
did see
went
that one.
back there and got another big giant lot from them.
Oh wow! Because you were getting like not just one copy of it, like maybe 5 or 6, maybe even 10 copies of some
Yeah,
books.
like the first batch I got, it was crazy because what they're doing is they're buying, because of the incentive stuff, the ratio variants and stuff, they're making their money off those ratio variants. And so they're buying enough copies to get the 1 in 50 or the 1 in 100s and
Yeah,
that kind of
yeah. You
stuff.
were
And then
mentioning that.
after they've sold off as many copies as they can, they don't want to devalue the books in their store by, who's going to want to see the book
Yeah,
that
well,
they
if you
just
put it
paid
as a
$5 or $6
dollar,
for
yeah, yeah.
for 50 cents or whatever. So, you know,
That's one
along
thing that's
comes me.
that's one thing that's interesting about the shop that I go to in Ottawa. I feel like the market here is not as savvy as it was when I was living in Toronto. And what
Mhm.
I've noticed is the shop will do the following. If it's, I think, like a month or two old book, like it just that about that old, month to 2 months old, it goes into their dollar bin.
Why would you
So
even have a pull list then?
so my point is like what'll happen is like, they they don't really stock that many copies of things. It's not like they're going after the incentives, but I've seen things in the dollar bin that were like on the hot list. Like,
Right,
I'm
right,
like, okay, I'll pick that up for $1. Sure, why not?
right. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, that was my point. I've got a buddy of mine, again, Travis from uh, Comics Limited, and he came up as we're going through those boxes, and he made a little stack, like maybe this big, and
Yeah.
yeah, I've traded him comics from those bulk collections that I'm getting, and they're books that are like 30-40 bucks a piece,
Yeah.
currently hot, but I'm trading him for Silver Age books and that kind of stuff. I'm like,
Hmm.
well, I'd rather sit on the Captain America 100 rather than a bunch
Yeah.
of
I
new
mean,
stuff.
I'd rather have like in that kind of the reverse of what we were talking about before, where we were talking about would you rather have a big collection or one Grail book? Um, I would rather have medium Grail than a whole bunch of dollar bin books, or thirty
Right,
dollar books.
right,
Yeah, that like so there is like exceptions to that rule that I was talking about before.
right.
I actually stopped myself recently from buying the more like lower interest things like the $5 to $10 books. I've been trying to avoid that and really
Right.
buying bigger books. One sec here. I gotta get back to the comments here. Um, I'd buy that for $1. Yeah, I used to like that reference. I'd buy that for $1.
Right, right.
Yeah. Actually, you guys heard of the villain from the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, Mastermind? He's been dead for a long time. I don't think he'll ever come back, like Uncle Ben or Gwen Stacy, etc. Uh,
So I don't read the new stuff, but Travis keeps me abreast of a lot of the stuff. And I guess there was the whole thing where whenever, what was it? Whenever Moira McTaggart
oh yeah, yeah.
dies, she resets the timeline.
Oh really?
And then there was some other thing where they were able to bring back, I think
Certain
he said
characters.
every dead mutant, or they brought back Destiny. I know she was a
Oh wow.
dead, she was, Mystique's best friend who died. They brought her back. They brought back, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of crazy
So
right now.
yeah, I mean, like the way it works is if the character's dead in the public opinion, then it's dead. But
Yeah.
if it's a character that people actually liked, they'll find a way to bring it back.
Mastermind, though, I mean, he's a great character. One of the first issues of X-Men I ever read was 175. It's got Phoenix on the cover, fighting all the X-Men. And it's
Right.
actually Mastermind making all of the X-Men thinks that Cyclops is Phoenix.
Oh,
And
okay.
so halfway through the book, it changes POV from the X-Men fighting Phoenix to Cyclops trying to stay alive while all the rest of the X-Men are trying to kill him, and finding out who's behind what's going on.
Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, I find, yeah, I think they can do cool storylines. The problem is, like, in a way, when you bring back a dead character, in a way, you're kind of doing a disservice to that character because, you know, whatever, usually the storyline is kind of a build up to their death, right? And
Right.
there's a lot of emotional impact when they die, but that emotional impact is totally lost when that character just comes back in the next issue, right? Like it's like, oh, don't worry, it was just a flesh wound. I will I will carry on.
I, I like how they handled Gamora in the
Oh,
Guardians
in
movies.
Guardians,
Yeah,
yeah, they made her a
for
new
them
character
having
right
brought
away.
back a character who died, I think it's a very interesting way to handle it, where it's like, I'm not that person that you know that
Yeah,
you fell in love with.
but what I heard was I haven't seen the new Guardians movie, so I'm using like my references from other people for
You
that
haven't
movie.
seen it yet?
I haven't seen it yet. I haven't had a chance.
Oh gosh,
I've been so
good
busy. It's
stuff,
like
man.
been
You got
really
to see
busy.
it.
But what I've heard is that she, is she's not the right personality for herself. Even like if you think about when she was in Guardians 1, she was, rebelling against her father. She was kind of like almost like like being like a goody two shoe and trying to like rebel against that whole plot that he was putting forward. So for her to become a Ravager sounds really out of character for her.
So I think that have you okay, I'm gonna
He
go to a
liked.
I cried during Guardians as well.
I
But
heard that there was a lot of like pet cruelty things that were.
yeah, have you seen the movie Groundhog's Day?
Yeah, I like Groundhog Day. That's a great
So
one.
the part where Bill Murray is trying to
Kill himself.
fall in love with
Oh, okay.
the
Oh, he's trying to
character.
seduce that one girl. Yeah, yeah,
No, he's not trying to seduce her. He actually has feelings for her, and he has
yeah, yeah,
one evening where everything goes almost perfectly right,
yeah.
and then he's trying to recreate that. And I think the whole thing where it's like Peter Quill is like, you know, we
He's
fell in
trying to.
love and this magical thing happened, but it has to be just the right set of circumstances, and the person has to be in just the right frame of mind and everything for it to go that way. And I think that Gamora was searching for something that she found in the Guardians in the first movie, and
Mhm.
she was still searching for that, but she found it elsewhere in the current state of things, and she
So,
didn't fall for Quill.
so one of the problems that I have with modern movies, and this is like not just MCU, but across most modern movies, is I've noticed that they've removed the boy girl relationship. you don't see like the love interests anymore. You don't see that, girl falling for the guy falling for the girl. You don't see it very often.
Yeah.
And I
Well,
think that kind of takes away from the movie. Like one of the biggest drives that characters have is that needing to protect the one that they love. And I find the characters nowadays, they're not really doing that at all. They're not protecting anyone that they love. They're just self-interested. They're doing things for their own benefit rather than the benefit of others. And that's really, I think that's what makes modern movies a bit weaker, in my opinion.
right. Well, I can see that. I can see where you're coming from.
Okay.
I thought that the character development was really good in the
Yeah,
new Guardians movie.
I haven't watched it, so I'm like criticizing without having watched it. So I can't really say. Alexandra DeWitt died and never came back. Okay, so
Oh yeah, she got fridged.
okay, cool.
Yeah,
Uh,
it wasn't cool.
well, like fridge warm. Okay. Um, can't sleep. I'm here now. What are y'all doing? Well, we're talking comics. We were actually doing shout outs earlier.
Yeah,
And
we're shouting out channels and talking about the idea behind the hashtag comic book shout out thing
yeah,
that we're doing, and
now Chase
we're showing some comics off. Yeah, Chase is considered stalking.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I actually feel bad for kids nowadays. Like, if you try to make a move on a girl, you're gonna probably go to jail. Yes, yeah, there's a difference between romancing and harassing. You know, I actually liked it. When if you watch like the old movies from the '80s, and especially like maybe the dynamic between Princess Leia and Han Solo. And he's kind of flirtatious with her, but in a like almost confrontational way. Do
Right.
you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I kind of found that dynamic was fun. You don't have that nowadays, where there's that, do they love each other, do they, that kind of like, that
I
kind of,
love you so much, I hate you.
no, not that. What I'm saying is like, where you like, as an audience viewer, you want these people to get together.
Right. Right.
That feeling that, oh, wouldn't it be cool if they get together, and you see them kind of fighting with each other, and they that they love each other, but they that they don't want to show that they love each other, that whole thing, and you're like, oh,
Right.
just
Yeah.
get together, just kiss the girl, and
Right.
the movie would always end with the guy kissing the girl, right?
Right.
So that there's all that tension that's built up, and that was really kind of fun to watch, and that's been stripped out of movies now. You don't ever like seeing a heterosexual couple in a movie nowadays is yeah, it's like very rare, very rare. And it's kind of sad that it's all the romance has been taken out of movies, like all that kind
I
of.
will say, like in the Guardians movie, I was really the relationships between a lot of other characters were really interesting. The relationships between Nebula and the other characters,
Mhm.
Mantis and Drax, all of that is very interesting to see that whole thing, how it's playing out. And just,
But it
I
was
was
no
actually like,
romance. It
I
wasn't
was actually,
romance. It
I was
was.
happy that they didn't actually take the easy road on a lot of those things and just go, oh, and now they're going to become a couple. It was more like they just left things like they are a lot of times in real life. It's kind of like things unsaid. You don't really know exactly how things stand, but
Mhm.
so
Okay, so the original Gamora Quill story line was not like that. Comic Collector Geek. Throwaway thanks to James Gunn. Throwback thanks to James Gunn. So yeah, so I'm not sure how their relationship was in the comics, to tell you the truth. I haven't read their storylines in the comics. Um,
there's a lot of new stuff I haven't read. Somebody was, I think it was John's Comics with Kids was talking about there's a whole storyline of Guardians where Peter Quill and Kitty Pryde are together, and she's one of the Guardians, and Kitty Pryde and Peter Quill are a couple.
oh, that's
So
that's a weird mix.
yeah,
I don't know why I always see Kitty Pryde as being too young for Peter Quill.
Yeah.
I don't know
She's
why.
how many years old now? She's from the 80s
I know, but yeah, they're all
or
old now.
70s,
Like,
right?
well, I
Rich
mean,
parents.
Star Lord's from the 70s, I think. Isn't
True,
it?
true.
I think that's when he came.
Nobody ages in comics.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
Power Pack are all still little kids.
yeah. I mean, and Peter Parker is still a teenager.
Right.
It's like they never age. Yeah, but
They've actually he's now an adult. I mean, he's graduated from college and has had his own business and all kinds of
have you
stuff. So
have you heard of Terry Long? He did this comic book creator insert himself into a comic so he could marry Donna Troy, Marv Wolfman.
Terry Long.
Terry Long. I don't know that character. Well, or writer, I should say.
Or was it Marv Wolfman inserted himself into the character as Terry Long to
I
marry
think
Donna Troy?
I don't know. I've heard, nowadays it's very common for people to do self inserts into comics, right? But
Right.
yeah,
Do it, Alfred Hitchcock. I
yeah,
have the
well,
Marvel Preview Magazine #4.
yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's 1977. I knew it was like in the 70s. Like I think,
Yeah, I have that. It's mine has got a detached cover, but
I forget what my grade is. It's over
think
there.
I think I picked it up for like $75 with a detached cover. So
Oh, that's not too bad. Yeah, I think mine's a mid grade actually, like a 8 or so.
those magazines, like friggin' Savage Sword of Conan and
Oh,
Savage Tale,
correction,
love stuff.
1975 for that book.
Okay.
Yeah, I knew it was in the 70s, but I didn't know.
Rampaging Hulk, all that stuff. Those things are hard to find in high grade.
Oh yeah, because the you mean because they're in that magazine format, or?
Yeah, they're never back in the day. There wasn't things to hold those things.
Well, yeah. What do you put those in? Like
Yeah.
really, like magazines are like the worst to like store.
Well, I mean, I'm amazed that even like the original TMNT books, because they're so oversized, that
Yeah.
many of them survived in high grade because they're hard to store.
Oh, see, we're getting all the facts about
Yeah.
when Marvel Preview #4 came out. First Star Lord,
There we go.
October 14th. Yeah, very specific.
Then he was in, what was his book that he was in? He was in a comic though later on.
Yeah, it was in a comic.
Was it Marvel Premiere or?
I want to say Marvel Premiere too. Yeah, I have it. I just, it's funny. I actually have it. Is it handy? Semi-handy. It's right there.
He's being crucified on that techno thing on the
Yeah,
cover.
yeah, yeah. That's what I'm thinking. He's got the crucifixion kind of look to him. Yeah, that's how I remember that cover. Yeah.
Any other channels you want to shout out? You think of any more?
Okay, so I feel like I'm forgetting people and they're gonna hate me. Okay, so Epoch is another channel that I watch. He was in here
Yeah,
earlier.
Epoch is cool. Epoch, if you're still in here, Epoch, I love your accent, by the way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And Mr. E, the low grade king, he actually does some good stuff. Bit of a scruffy guy, but his content's not bad. What else? Who else do I watch? This is so sad. When you're put on the spot and you have to like name your 5 favorite characters, and it's like, I don't know any characters. It's like, you forget. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm forgetting a whole bunch of people.
Have you watched Mon comics?
Who?
Mon M.O.N. comics?
No.
Brandon. His
No.
middle of nowhere is what it stands for.
Oh, okay.
And his whole thing is he's kind of like you. He buys all his books online and through auctions and stuff.
I mentioned Bleecker already.
Yeah.
Also, Mighty Comics is another one that I can mention. If
DC and Marvel operated in real time, what's the earliest normal heroes like Batman and Green Arrow?
Okay.
Well, I think they've kind of set it up where it's kind of like a succession thing where it would have happened,
Yeah, like so they would have been dead, and then they would have grandchildren. That would be.
Yeah, or you've got the original Robin becoming Batman,
Yeah,
and
so that's what I would figure would happen. It's sort of like you got your apprentice, and they are sort of your sidekick. Then they become the Batman, and then they get their own sidekick, and then they just keep on doing
and
that.
that's what happened in Battle for the Cowl. You had Nightwing became Batman,
Yeah,
and Damian became Robin.
yeah.
So
Yeah. Did they do that in the? I haven't watched all the Teen Titans. Did they do that in the Teen Titans show as well, where they explain that?
I don't know. I haven't
Because
seen that
like
one.
I was watching Teen Titans, and they had it where Robin they kind of have the two Robins for a little while. Like
Okay.
one is like the new Batman's Robin, and then the original Robin is kind of like becoming Nightwing.
Okay.
So there is that kind of handover. Um,
Was it the cartoon or the live action?
this is live action. It was just
Okay.
Titans. Like it was not.
Titans. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But I only watched the first two seasons of that, so I wasn't sure.
Speedy is so slow. He's now called Slowy. I love it.
Yeah. Well, when you get old, that it actually would be really cool if they were like in a wheelchair and like they're or like those walkers. Like
And they have who's it? They Marvel just put there was a character in a wheelchair now that's like some sort of a superhero who was
oh
she's a monster girl or something. She pulls, I forget. She appeared in like oh, what the heck is the name of that? Devil Dinosaur and Moon Girl.
okay. I haven't
Yeah.
read those.
Yeah.
So yeah. I mean they're trying to be inclusive, right? Like
They are.
I'm not sure how you feel about that. I never felt like I had to see myself in that character, in like the in like I never needed a photocopy of myself in order to.
I will say that I'd rather see them make new characters to represent inclusivity than take established characters and
Yeah,
shove somebody else into that role.
yeah.
So,
But
I mean, I
what I'm
don't have
saying is
any
like,
problem with Sam Wilson, the Falcon, becoming Captain America, but some of the other stuff that they've done is just kind of like,
yeah, but yeah,
okay,
I I feel like what they're doing is they're focusing more on inclusion as a way to like that's the focus rather than actually telling a good story where it makes any sense. Like like where it's a good story and maybe there's a
good
reason.
night,
Like,
Dr. Bunchula.
but if you look at the example that you just mentioned, the battle for the cow, that's a good story where they're fighting for that right to be the next Robin, right? So
Right.
that's a cool story, and that's where you get the character becoming their the new version of that character.
Yeah, I
And
remember in
I can relate to that.
the Damien storyline where it was like Damien decided that he wanted to be Robin and he just basically flat out attacks I forget who was Robin at that time. He's like, this is how we did it in the League of Assassins. You
Yeah.
wanted a role, you just took out the other guy.
Yeah. That's Damian Wayne. That's the way he did it.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that was battle for the cow.
yeah. Good
Um,
night, Collecto.
yeah. Good night, Stephen. One sec here. How come Kitty Pryde wasn't in the '90s X-Men cartoon? I think Kitty Pryde was getting older, and Jubilee had to feel.
Yeah, Jubilee was kind of the replacement for Kitty Pryde as far as the young person in the team.
Yeah,
So
I always actually. I always found Jubilee kind of annoying in the whole X-Men series because her powers were kind of lame in a way, like really like sparks.
so Travis again, we're talking the other day, and I said something about Jubilee, and he goes, dude, you haven't been caught up with that character in a long time. I go, no. He
And
goes,
now she's powerful, I
she's
think.
an adult. She has a kid. She's a vampire now. I'm like,
Oh,
what?
really? Oh
Jubilee's
my
a
goodness.
vampire?
That's crazy. Okay, that's a weird storyline. I don't know what's going there. Yeah. Oh, somebody likes my shirt. Oh wait, somebody said they like my shirt. I don't know what's so great about this shirt.
Nice shirt, Alan.
Yeah, nice shirt. Okay. Um Her powers were the same as Dazzler. No, yes, they were basically the same. It's like sparky things.
Yeah,
Look
not the
cute.
same. Dazzler. What she
Dazzler
has
has the roller
the
skates, right?
Dazzler has the ability to absorb sound and turn it into light,
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
light energy.
Um,
Yeah.
she was actually there was one character. I forgot who she was fighting. It was somebody that was sort of darkness that only the Dazzler could beat, kind of thing. You know, I forgot
Okay.
what the character was. It was like some. I forgot. It was the funniest story. It was like I forgot. It was like only the Dazzler. Like the one time that that kind of light power was useful was the, fighting this dark monster kind of character. It was interesting. So yeah. So I don't know, but I thought the
I mean,
Dazzler.
she can focus that light energy into like lasers and everything else. I
Yeah, yeah,
mean,
yeah.
that's kind of cool.
Yeah, yeah. I actually like the Dazzler. Um, what's
Yes, I remember the Professor Xavier is a jerk. That was the great. That was the splash page. Paul
oh
Smith,
really?
he was a great artist. I loved his stuff. And then he came back years later, and he just wasn't the same. I think it was just maybe they had a different inker for him.
Mm.
But his run on X-Men was really good.
Hmm. I'm not as familiar with him as an artist. It's Paul Smith.
Yeah, he was before John Romita took over, John
Oh,
Romita
okay.
Jr. Um, so it was Paul Smith. It kind of went John Byrne, then they kind of went back to Dave Cockrum for a little bit, and then they went over to Paul Smith. And
Hmm.
Paul Smith did it for, I believe, like 4 or 5 years.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Dazzler
Dazzler
was.
wasn't great in the movies. Dark Phoenix movie sucked. You're correct.
I'm trying to think. What I actually don't even remember the Dazzler in the movies. To tell you the truth, where was she in the
She
movies?
was in the Dark Phoenix movie. She was
Really?
like singing at a party at the mansion.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she was
So
like, they were
she
like,
was
"Oh my
just
God, I
not
can't believe
memorable.
Allison Blair is here."
Oh,
And
so
she's
she was
there.
just not
She's got the
memorable.
face makeup and everything. She's singing
Oh,
outside. They're having like some outside party, and
see,
she's
I
there
didn't like the
singing.
Dark Phoenix, so maybe I just don't remember.
That movie was awful.
Yeah, it was not a good movie. Yes, see, Dark Phoenix movie sucked. I agree. It was just,
Well,
yeah,
they've tried to do it now twice, and they've screwed it up both times.
yeah. I don't know why they. It's a cool story in the comics.
They just need to follow the story. They never do. So
Yeah, they always do some other weird thing. Yeah, I like the Dark Phoenix movie. I don't actually. I don't even remember it that much. I remember they killed Magneto and Professor X at the beginning, or they killed Professor X at the beginning. I should say. That's
that's
right.
the original Dark Phoenix movie. Then the new one was just bad.
And what was the original one? Oh, the original one was like, oh, I'm.
Well, yeah, Framke
Why
Jansen
is it
was.
X Men? It should be X people or something stupid, right?
Yeah, so Framke Jansen was in the one where they killed Professor Xavier, and
Yeah.
then
And
the
then
gal
this,
from Game of Thrones was playing Jean Grey in the.
yeah, and the more, yeah. Was that with no? I was gonna say Apocalypse. No. Who was the
It
main
was
baddie?
after. What's that?
Who was the main baddie in Dark Phoenix?
Dark Phoenix.
So she was just okay. Well, I don't
Yeah,
really remember that movie. I
there
don't
was some
I have no
alien. There
memory of
was
that.
some alien race that was there trying to corrupt her and take
You
the
know what's
Phoenix
funny?
Force from her.
You know what it could have been? When was that movie? When did that movie come out? Was it about
I
seven
want to
years
say just
ago?
before COVID.
Okay. You know why I don't remember that movie? It's like kind of a messed up reason, but it is true. Like I don't remember for about 2 years of my life. I lost 2 years of memory.
What?
Yeah. So I broke my neck. Okay.
Oh, right.
And
You talked about that on
and
the
I
show.
got a
Yeah.
concussion. And for some reason, I don't really remember that time period, like anything that happened during that time period. I know that I watched Dark Phoenix, but I don't remember the movie at all. Like I don't have any memory of it. And I have a really good memory for most things. I just don't remember those 2 years.
It was a good thing to forget, Alan.
Yeah, so it's kind of messed up. So I'm actually gonna watch it just for the fact that I don't remember it. I feel like
You're,
I
well,
have.
you'll see the Dazzler scene that I was talking about.
Okay, so yeah, so that's why I don't remember the Dazzler. I'm like, okay, well, so wait. I like the New Mutants better than Dark Phoenix. I actually like the New Mutants. I
I
actually
thought
like
the New
that.
Mutants was good, and
Yeah,
I
I
like
like
the fact that they alluded to Mr. Sinister a lot in that movie. I mean,
yeah.
that was cool.
I really liked what's her name? Rasputin. Ilyana
Magic,
Rasputin. Magic.
magic,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Her character was awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, I think she's cool. I just like her, sort of bad girl attitude.
Yeah.
Um so yeah, I thought that was I actually liked that movie. I think it got a bad rap. I think it just took too long to come out. And that's what
Well,
killed
yeah. Now it's basically getting retconned out of existence. So,
it. Yeah, it didn't do well at all. Um, is it true that a 19-year-old Colossus dated a 14-year-old Kitty Pryde in the comics? I don't know. I don't remember that.
yes, yes,
Is
it's
it
true.
true? Wow.
I don't know that Colossus was night. Yeah, probably. Yeah. Well, yeah. They
I always think of Kitty Pryde as being 14 or so, like just a kid.
they dated, but it was more like a holding hands kind of boyfriend girlfriend kind of thing. And then Secret Wars happened, and
Hmm.
Colossus fell in love with some alien healer lady, and he came
Okay.
back and told Kitty Pryde about it, and then they broke up. So
Okay. See, that's why dating those young girls, it's just not going to work.
it's like Scott Pilgrim, you know.
Yeah, yeah. I always like that. You're dating a high schooler. Yeah, I like Scott Pilgrim. That was a good movie. That's a very Toronto-based movie.
That's one of my favorite. That's probably my favorite movie right now.
So if you go to like, if have you ever been to Toronto?
No.
Yeah. So if like I lived in Toronto for like 20 years. Um, if you um, if you watch the movie, there's just so many references to things in Toronto that
Right.
you would as a Canadian you watch it and you're like, oh my goodness, it's like that's so funny. These are like so landmarks,
You're
so
like,
many
I know
different
where that
landmarks.
is. I know where that is.
Yeah, it's like everything is like that. Like the whole movie is like that. He's even wearing a CBC shirt, which is so funny. Like that's like such a Canadian reference. Yeah, but CBC is the national broadcasting station in Canada.
Oh,
It's
Canadian
kind of like the
Broadcasting
PBS,
Company. Or
yeah, Canadian Broadcasting Company. It's like we always joke like it's the communist broadcasting. It's just like so, it's very left wing. It's like just a propaganda thing. But yeah, it's just a funny show. I really like that movie. Um, one sec. Do you expect from a Russian? Oh wow.
oh, come on now.
Yeah. So yeah. Oh well. So we should probably wrap it up. It's been like 2 hours.
Having too much fun talking, but yeah, we should probably wrap it up and let people get on to other things.
Yeah, yeah,
But thanks for everybody for showing up and
yeah. It was
listening to
fun.
my crazy idea.
And listen to everyone in the channel. Please sub each other up and sub to all these channels, and let's build the community. That's the goal here.
Make sure you
So,
sub to Alan.
I think a lot of the people already are sub to me, so they don't. Yeah. But yeah, I'm so close. Like once I get to 3,000 subs, I'm gonna do some special giveaway. Like this is
Are you?
yeah, I'm
Okay,
gonna do something special. I think I'll throw in a golden age or something like that.
that would be cool.
Yeah. So one sec here. People are saying random things. Disney should remake X-Men now that Victoria Alonso is gone. She wanted to remove the men. Yeah, see, that's what I don't like. Oh,
The Uncanny X people.
yeah. And, yeah, then they're going to say, oh, we got to be like inclusive of all the different species of animals and stuff, like
Mhm.
X species or something.
When I was a little kid, I didn't understand what I was like. Wait, they're X-Men? What does that mean?
Yeah, well, that means they were once men. Now it's like, maybe they're all transgender.
Uh, yeah, I
Like
really
X,
honestly, when I was a little kid, I did not understand that.
well, I used to think that too, actually, because X, usually if you put that in front of something, it means no longer that thing, right?
Right?
Yeah, so it's kind of messed up.
It's like, what happened to these poor guys?
Something bad. You know,
Don't go to Professor Xavier's school.
yeah, yeah.
Bye,
Oh, well.
Candlestick.
Okay. Good night, everyone. And again, subscribe to everyone. Check out BigBy McFly's channel. And thanks again for watching. Bye, everyone.
Bye bye.